truth, speak truth, speak truth, and sings his the conversion. He speaks the vintage and to youth. You can still see his old videos. That's up and that is fine and that is fine. But the titles have now changed a bit, and they have a warning sign, a warning sign. They have a warning sign, a warning sign.
It's a rotating sphere that keeps the current late.
And can't we laugh at Bobby, who was a little bit? Will he pick up a 15-degree per hour drift? Who's my favorite ex-flatterer? It has to be S.T. He exposed foolish Massage Sergeant Nathan Thompson and Natalie. Nathan only fucking wanker, sleeping warrior, Durfoti, Durfoti. Eddie Dubé has not any proof. He's a racist and a Nazi, a racist and a Nazi.
And Jerry Cohen Cohen, that's the fucking guy. Jerry Cohen Cohen,
and Alfie sounds unhealthy, and that's the shade of red. He has a silly habit of raging in a jet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's my favorite ex-flat earther? It has to be S.T. And he shows to the daughters
that on the globe you have to be.
like his videos on his channel. Let it be known once and for all, once and for all. The world was never what my friends is spinning after all, after all. Who's my favorite ex-flatterer? It has to be seek truth, speak truth, speak truth, and sings his deconvert. Who's my favorite ex-flatterer? It has to be seek truth, speak truth, speak truth, and sings his deconversion. He speaks the vintage and to youth. You can still see his old videos. That's up and that is fine and that is fine. But the titles have now changed a bit, and they have a warning sign, a warning sign. They have a warning sign, a warning sign.
It's a rotating sphere that keeps the current late.
And can't we laugh at Bobby, who was a little bit? Will he pick up a 15-degree per hour drift? Who's my favorite ex-flatterer? It has to be S.T. He exposed foolish Massage Sergeant Nathan Thompson and Natalie. Nathan only fucking wanker, sleeping warrior, Durfoti, Durfoti. Eddie Dubé has not any proof. He's a racist and a Nazi, a racist and a Nazi.
And Jerry Cohen Cohen, that's the fucking guy. Jerry Cohen Cohen,
and Alfie sounds unhealthy, and that's the shade of red. He has a silly habit of raging in a jet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's my favorite ex-flatterer? It has to be S.T. And he shows to the daughters
that on the globe you have to be.
like his videos on his channel. Let it be known once and for all, once and for all. The world was never what my friends is spinning after all. Who's my favorite ex-lover? There has to be seek truth, speak truth, speak truth, and sings tasty conversion. He speaks the vintage and to you. You can still see his old videos. Race and that is fine, and that is fine. But the titles have now changed a bit.
It is a spinning ball. Thank you, the Snark. Thank you very, very much. Hello to you all and welcome to a rotation on our rotating oblate spheroid. I'm so glad to see you all. Charlie Welch, hello mate. Amy Hogan, hello. Skydiver Tanner, legend. NANA, Adam L, Isa, I insist you play a bit of happy hardcore. Ooh. Heat Shield, Tiny Captain. Tiny Captain. Yeah, for some reason, whenever I see, excuse me, Tiny Captain, I just sing, Tiny Dancer. And it makes me happy. So, yeah. In the house, Amy, is here. Light Emitting Diode Designs UK. Hello, buddy boy. How are you doing? I thought I'd come and check into you guys and say hello. And we do possibly have a guest or two. First, we have a Mr. Fohammer 335. I'm going to bring you into the stream and say hello. How are you? I can't hear you, man. Are you muted? Or is it my end?
That should be better now.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi!
How are you?
So I'm doing really good. Swordsman just had our 100 sub special. Thank you very much for being a part of that.
Thank you. Well, you've stolen my kind of first thing I was going to say about you, actually. I was going to be like, thank you so much for allowing me on there. So, yeah, it's cool, mate. I love the little channel you've got growing there. Hit 100 subs. This is a very tight-knit community, but there may well be 5 or 6 people listening right now. Yeah, I think it's such a cool little channel you've got running there, dude. You know, when you hear bands say like, oh, you know, we can play concert arenas and stuff, but we really love the little intimate gigs, if you know what I mean. And that's kind of what it felt like on your channel a little bit, if you know what I mean, like where just everyone is welcome, everyone's equal. So yes, mate, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. That's the community we're trying to kind of build. Everybody, regardless of their views, is welcome. And part of that is because all 4 of us are so diverse with where we come from, how we were raised, how we believe social politics should be handled, and even just how we talk. I was a veteran, and Tanner is part of the LGBT community. Sir Little Wolf is in Alaska, and he's one of the natives, a Native American. And Steve is an Aboriginal from Australia, so he's upside down. And I enjoy talking to them so much. They all have a lot more experience than I do with life. They're all a lot older than I am. And they're just great people. But we've all stated that everybody is welcome. I mean, if you start bullying somebody, that's close to our channel, okay, then maybe
you're not going to be welcome. Yeah.
Because we want everybody to feel comfortable. And if somebody makes somebody else feel uncomfortable and then comes to our channel and does that, that's where we got to draw the line. So there's a line somewhere.
Yeah.
We have not had that problem so far. We've avoided those problems for now, thankfully. And I hope that we can in the future as well.
Yeah. Oh, mate, no, honestly. And I love, actually, I see Skydiver Tanner in the chat at the minute. I was really impressed with his little segment on the plot hole today. Did you see that? About
I did.
the bit about like body confidence in men. And I really do think that's like an issue that is not spoken about enough, actually, is like, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, the women get to worry about their body, the men don't. You know, I'm not saying that at all. But I don't think men accept really, actually, that we worry more than we let on. And we always try and hold up this bravado, which Tanner hit on brilliantly when he kind of done the cowboy, like, you know, I'm talking to you now, team. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of having to brute up just to, like, do you know what I mean? I kind of got that, and I saw exactly what he was doing with it. And yeah, like we do as a people need to actually accept and talk and say, like, you know, guys do have problems too, if you know what I mean. And
I definitely do.
I mean, maybe not even just about body dysmorphia, and you know, the range just goes on, doesn't it, if you know what I mean? Yeah, so I really applaud Skydiver for that.
He did it in a
and I
very
actually think he could. Yeah, I think he could actually run with a channel like that. Imagine like doing a few shorts, like the 1 minute videos, and just like the whole kind of like the confidence for men. But I actually think the good angle, this may sound ridiculous, but because obviously Skydiver is a homosexual man, I think it's quite funny him schooling men. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that angle alone is kind of like, you know, he's saying like, you know, let that go and look past your worries. And but you know what I mean? Like, it's not coming from some guy that's hitting the gym and, you know, make sure you do this. Like, you know, I really do like what he's doing there. Yeah.
So
it's a good dynamic you all have got.
I definitely agree. A lot of people think that they look a lot worse than what they do, men and women.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people think they're a lot more attractive than they are as well. There's
like
a reason why.
Dunning-Kruger of attractiveness.
What's that?
I suppose is there like a Dunning-Kruger, but for attractiveness? Is there like a thing?
Yeah, both sides, I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have a lot of people who think that they are a 8 or 9 on a 10-point Bell scale because they've been told that their entire life, and you have people who think they're a 3 or 2 or 3 on a 10-point Bell scale, and that's on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, you know, and 10 being whatever. Where most people are average. The vast majority of the population is average. 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And that should be semi-comforting because you are no more or less attractive than anybody else. You just look different.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's extreme examples that obviously go both ways. But for the most part, you're fairly in the middle. You're regardless of who you are and what you look like, you're fairly in the middle.
Yeah. And I think, like, say, you know, I've been out like with a friend before or whatever, and like I might say, oh my God, look at her, don't you think she's nice? And they'll go, what? Like, not at all, man. Like, but then they could look at someone, find them absolutely beautiful, and I wouldn't think that, if you know what I mean. So it is, I often find like the best quirks about someone is like sometimes the thing that they think is the worst thing about them. You know, they might have like crooked teeth or something. But if you've got like just a supposed, you know, model, like a what's the word? Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and you could choose between 3 of them, and really they're all perfect, but one of them had crooked teeth. You'd probably go for the one with crooked teeth because they had that little bit something different.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's what everybody has, and it's about realizing that, like, even yourself, that's not, you know, what to judge yourself on in a way, is it? Because
Exactly.
someone else is going to look at you and more or less think you're the dog's bollocks, even if you don't think it.
Yep.
So that's how we all have to live our lives, is really, to you, I might not be all that and be all great, but to some people, I'm far, far better than you could ever dream of, if you know what I mean. And that's sometimes how I give myself confidence, is to think like that, if you know what I mean, and just always think like there are always people that are worrying too much, if you know what I mean. And like, yeah, I'm starting to sound like a messiah, so I'll shut up. I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about.
So there's 7.7 billion people on the planet. If only 1% of them like you, that's a couple million.
Yeah.
So worry about the people who like you. Fuck everybody else. I apologize for swearing.
Oh, that's okay. It's absolutely fair.
So I was bullied in high school and middle school and grade school extensively for my mole that I have. Oops, wrong side.
Really?
Yeah.
For
because
that
I was different.
little thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
To be fair, when I was a lot younger, it looked a lot bigger on my face.
It's not more prominent.
But that's one of the reasons why I grew a beard, was to try to cover part of it up. And then I realized I like myself with a beard a lot more. I don't care if anybody else likes it, but I do.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people need to focus on, is themselves.
Yeah.
Not what other people think. Do what you want. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, for sure. We've got another little guest actually wanting to join. We have Isa, or Aza. Not sure how to pronounce it properly. I'm about to add you, and you'll obviously inform us how to say your name. Isa, how are you?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
Loud and clear. Yep.
Cool. It doesn't look like it's working. It's Isa.
Isa. Cool. I think you might have your stream on in the background or something there.
Right, yeah. I've just muted it. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's good to finally be able to speak to you.
Yeah, you as well. Hi.
Yeah. Good. Glad you jumped on. That's quite cool. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Did you grab your glass of water?
I've drank all my wine. I've got a glass of water now.
Sometimes I do that anyway. Like, once you get to that level, I'm not saying you are, but when I do get there, yeah,
it's the right thing to do.
Yes, it is.
I'm getting older.
I'm
get wiser.
So you're a bit of an old school raver.
A little bit.
Nice.
I was a really young raver. I was only 13, 14. I used to go to the raves then when I was way too young. So.
Yeah, that was kind of same here, to be honest. Yeah, we'll do. Some may say silly, but they're fun things at the time. I wouldn't regret any rave I went to be honest.
That's what I was about to ask. Seriously, I was about to ask you, do you regret any of it?
No, not at all.
I do not regret any of it. Time of my life.
Yeah, I mean, like I always say, like my nephews and nieces ask me, and I say, I would never recommend for you to do what I did, but I cannot say I regret it. If you know what I mean, like, you know, because they kind of ask me. And, yeah, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, go out, go rave and do this, do that. But you know, I'm also not going to be against it because
Yeah.
I experienced it and it was a load of fun.
I've got quite a few kids, but 3 of them are grown up, more or less grown up. My 3 eldest are 17, 21, and 23, and that's how I am with them. I mean, they're all grown up now, and so I advise, but I don't tell them don't do that because you can't anymore. So I advise.
Yeah.
I don't say you've got to learn from my mistakes. They've got to learn from their own, haven't they? So.
Oh yeah, you
But-
can't. Like, the more you, especially a child, I suppose, the more you kind of tell them to do something, or tell them not to do something. Sorry, they're probably going to go and do it. So,
Can confirm.
yeah.
Remember,
Oh,
right, you know, when you was a kid, you knew everything, and grown-ups knew nothing. And now we're all grown up, we know otherwise. It's true,
but
isn't
actually, I still kind of wish I was a kid again, though, because then you had no worries or cares.
it? Honestly, I'd love
You
to
know
be
what I mean?
14 again.
Going back
14
to,
was a good year.
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted you.
Sorry.
No, that was my fault. Going back to middle school or high school, knowing what I know now, it would be, I think, a much easier time for me. Knowing how to handle people who are bullying you and knowing how to talk in a way that doesn't get you bullied, and standing up for other people who are. There was a lot of people who, looking back, who I should have stood up for and I didn't. But yeah, I think I just kind of sidelined that conversation. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
No.
I wasn't very good at school at all. Sorry, I wasn't very good at school at all. But you know, looking back now, I realised that school could have been so amazing. It could have been so good. I could have stood up for, like you said, stood up for the people that were bullied. I could have stood up against the bullies. I could have done all sorts, and I could have had such a laugh. And instead, when I was that age, I didn't appreciate it. Hindsight's amazing, isn't it?
You don't realise until you leave school how kind of
Exactly.
important school is, or I didn't.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know, and kind of, you know, I am a little bit jealous of some of the guys that went to university and they really knuckled down and studied, and I am a little bit jealous, and I know I can still do it if I really did knuckle down. But yeah, you know, those are some of the most important years of your life, I'd say, like say between 12 and 18, something like that. And, you know, they leave a big mark on the following few decades if you kind of, you know, maybe not saying not do it the right way, but a way that will help you in your life going forwards, if you know what I mean. But we're all actually sitting here living proof that it doesn't matter. I'm actually now quite a respected guy and I've got no qualifications whatsoever, if you know what I mean. So we can all turn it round, can't we? You know, at one point I was more or less a laughing stock, and now I'm quite a respected guy, you know, and I look at that and I think, I know it's not a qualification, but it's getting there, isn't it? If you know what I mean? Like,
it means something. So it's good.
yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
say, you look back at school, and hindsight's amazing, but you live and learn, don't you?
We do, big time.
I mean,
we
you
try
also,
to.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay, mate. You carry on.
You also came from a community that was basically rejecting science, and you saw sense, which is one of the reasons why we respect you, because you have that intellectual honesty that most humans simply don't have. Most people cannot accept that they're wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I find that, like, I do feel a little bit like I'm put on a pedestal, a little, not just saying you, but you know, when you say like the intellectual honesty, and but then I also think, but then most people aren't drawn into those things anyway, like the belief in a flat earth, or if you know what I mean, it really is kind of like a niche thing. So yeah, I always have to kind of think, I do understand what you mean, but it is within conspiracy theorists, or that's what I kind of say, is like, surely not everyone is like that, are they? Like, but then
Well,
do people in their own lives usually not come across something maybe like I did, which is finding a flat earth? Do you know what I mean?
everybody's wrong about something.
Yeah.
Something somewhere,
Wrong about lots of
somehow.
things.
It's just whether or not you are able and willing to admit it. Like, look at Karens, for instance. Karens go into a store and they proudly and willfully display their ignorance. It's the opposite of intellectual honesty, whereas you calmly and rationally accepted things that Conspiracy Cats was saying. And you, well, while you had a couple back and forth videos with him, I believe, you understood what he was saying, and instead of just rejecting it out of hand, like other flat earthers, Rad Flat, I'm looking at you, like other flat earthers do, you accepted it, changed your mind, and then moved forward.
Yeah.
And you also clearly state that you are not an expert on a lot of things. I try to do the same. There's very few things I'm an expert on. And so I don't
definitely learn.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't see any intellectual dishonesty in you whatsoever.
Yeah. Even like with my history videos now, I'm going to start stating like I'm not a historian. I'd class myself as like a history communicator or something like that. Yeah. But like I want to start including historians in my videos, if you know what I mean. So maybe like interviewing people that have a real specific knowledge on a certain subject.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe I'd look at myself like that, and I do want to make sure like you don't get into that trap actually of thinking like, oh, you know, you're Mr. Billy Big Bollocks because you've learned a few facts for the day. Do you know what I mean? Like I look at myself as more of a presenter, if you know what I mean. Like I can research something and present it, but I'm not an expert of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to make sure I make that clear.
Isa, you wanted to say something, I think?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that I love your history videos. They're fascinating. I love history anyway. It's fascinating. My dad taught me a lot about history. He was really into it, and it's always been a big thing in my life. And so yeah, I love that. I love it.
Yeah, I picked it up off my dad actually. I think like my dad is a very. I know we probably, if we like our dads, we probably look at them all as heroes. But to me, my dad is such a hero. He's like 74 and he still actually works like 5 days a week. You know, he's so fit and I'm out of breath before he is. Like we actually work together sometimes fitting carpets. And yeah, I get a lot of my interest in history from him, definitely. Because like wherever we drive, he's always got a story about something, or you know, he always knows where something happened, and I just love that, you know, that relaying of what has happened. And not everything is written, is it? If you know what I mean. But like that's what I love about the internet now, is it is going down in history, if you know what I mean. Like, and that's why I kind of called the channel a part of history. Like, it lives on eternally. You know, even when we die, if in my probability we don't live on, the videos do. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the modern way of guaranteeing that you live forever, is you live on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like,
that's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, you know, like, you know, unless you know something terrible happens. Skydiver Tanner, thank you so much. $5 super chat. It's absolutely amazing for making me smile all the time and to help for things grow on a part of history. Thank you, Skydiver, mate. That's absolutely beautiful of you. Thank you. Generation Globe, you go STST, Suffolk, Norfolk is full of history to know a lot. I picked it up from my old man when he used to take me metal detecting. Hello, Generation Globe. Yeah, he lives, well, I say he, I'm presuming, or she, or they live very close to me. Delicious. I love your history channel. You present it very well. Thank you very, very much indeed. And good to see you. Delicious. Delicious. It always makes me a bit hungry when I see that name.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's made me want a sip of my Heine.
Oh, that looks like a little Heineken. It looks cute.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little one. Like,
Oh, that's it.
yeah, it's a little cute little Heineken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually a cider man, to be honest, but yeah, I'm down to the little Heinies, the ones that were left in the fridge.
Well, I am definitely a Johnny Walker guy.
Oh, he's beating
Oh,
his
double black.
And I proved that on my team, I can drink it without a chaser.
You put a funny face when you have a shot, though.
What's that?
Like, when Team Skeptic does a shot, he pulls a really funny face. Do you pull a funny face?
I do not. So I can't drink any right now because I'm going to work in a couple hours, and it would be extremely irresponsible for me to drink.
Just for us. Come on, Hammer. Be the teenage you. Come on.
If I wasn't carrying a gun, I would.
Oh yeah, true.
We'll let you off.
For my job, I have to.
If you were carrying like just a, like a checkout scanner or something, I'd say take the shot. But yeah, yeah. Oh, but I don't know where to go from that. Actually, like from the. I'm now just imagining some horrible things.
I do work at a pot farm, so if I had a shot, I might go take some of those plants and, no, I would never do that. For my company, who's probably not watching, I'm under camera surveillance all the time. You can go back and check my logs. I've never done anything like that. I never will. I have to put that on there just for a disclaimer.
Yeah, just a disclaimer.
No, but Team Skeptic pulls some really weird faces. He coughs, and then in a really rasp voice, he's like, "Oh, that's smooth." It's like, dude, come on.
Is he a pretend
bitch? Or get better liquor.
I said about he's got no eyes. Team's got no eyes.
I haven't at the minute, to be honest, after my reefers tonight, but yeah. I usually actually delete my streams now after after about 24 hours. I've realised just delete it because I usually just go live now when I'm drunk.
That's fair. Unfortunately, we're not deleting the 100 sub special, so you'll always be on there.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. I go on the EIE network quite a lot. I've often had a few martinis, or what do they say? Too many martinis. But yeah. So no, I'm all up for it. But yeah, with my channel as such, I think because you're saying, that is forever, isn't it? Like what you're leaving up. So you kind of leave it for a few days. If someone's interested, they'll watch it, but no one's going to obviously, I think Creaky mentioned, no one's going to really go back and watch, a live stream you did 6 months ago, unless it is a real specific topic. And, do you know what I mean? So yeah, but that still won't stop me from live streaming. I still want to have that. Yeah. It happened, but just for not as many people, so you're lucky if you do get to see it.
I think live streams sometimes end up being the funniest. They just end up being so funny because it's so spontaneous. It's just, let's go for it. And people just talk and they talk about whatever. And the live chat thing is hilarious. The live stream is hilarious. Just everything's just hilarious. They make me laugh so much.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason is because of what you said. It's all spontaneous. Yeah. Even when you have really good, really funny videos come out, like with Fight the Flat Earth, he tells you a joke. It's been scripted. Everybody knows it's been scripted. He's probably said it to himself 60 to 70 times, just recording it and re-recording it and re-recording it, trying to get that perfect take that feels natural, but it never quite is.
Mm.
Whereas on a live stream, this is me. This is Seek. This is you. We can.
It is so different.
Go ahead.
I know. I was just going to say it is so different. One thing I've noticed is say Simon Dan, and he kind of openly admitted it earlier, where he is a different person. He puts on a persona for his videos, and it will be the same for any kind of creator. To be honest, that has reached those numbers, is you more or less do have to become a character, have a very tight. Do you know what I mean? Like you can only act a certain way.
Like an actor.
Because once
Simon Dunn's content is brilliant. It is brilliant. I watch him every Tuesday, every Friday, guaranteed. But you can tell that it's not natural. He's doing the script. He's doing what he's doing. I love Simon Dunn. He's great. But it's just how it is, isn't it? It's a script.
Yeah. And then, like, say, when you see him on the podcast now, he's getting so relaxed.
Yes, he's more
and
natural.
I think we've seen the transition between, like, you know, coming away from that rigid creator of obviously making great content, and he has found that formula which works. So, of course, you know, you're going to stick to it. But then, obviously, he wants to show him.
You know, I think is the best scripted video maker, content maker sort of thing is Conspiracy Cats. I think he's brilliant. Even when it's scripted, even when it's planned and everything, he is so funny. He is so funny, and he looks natural when he's doing it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to... Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and he kind of doesn't even need the amazing editing, because Cats doesn't, does he, if you know what I mean? Like, it's actually not the best, but it's him that makes it, if you know what I mean.
Cats can't tech.
So there's some creators where actually it's probably more their editing that has carried them a little bit, if you know what I mean. Like, but say with Cats, actually, it's the other way around. Like, it's like, you know, it's almost laughable sometimes. You're like, oh, dude, like, I know that he could probably even do better, but he doesn't worry about the editing side because the writing's so good, if you know what I mean. It doesn't matter almost.
I'm going to differ a little bit in my opinion. I like Johnny O the most of created content.
Definitely. He is amazing. He really is. And he deserves so many more subscribers. His channel should be through the roof. It really should.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be, I'd say, like, I think he's going to probably hit the algorithm, and I reckon he'll be hitting like 50K within 18 months.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so. He really deserves it. He really does. He's so professional. He's so good. He's natural with it. He's funny with it. He's pure entertainment.
And from what I've seen, he's the same on and off camera. It's the same with MC Toon. For my interactions, MC Toon, he has a couple of different things that he does off video than he does on, obviously because of YouTube terms of service. But him and I have great conversations behind the scenes about things that he just doesn't talk about on stream. Such as firearms, for instance. MC Toon is a great guy. I really like his live streams. I don't so much like his created content, and that's nothing against him. It's just I find him so much more natural. And his jokes are a little bit funnier when you see him live. But Johnny O is great, both created and live, because everything feels natural. He has a script, but it's not a script like what I'll write for my intro in a debate or something. It's not word for word verbatim. He writes ideas and goes off of those. At least that's what I think he does to get that natural bit. I don't know for certain.
What about Brainy
Beaver? I think he's just he's a very good writer.
Yeah.
With Johnny O, like, he's a very good writer and a natural in front of the camera. If you know what I mean, like, that's going to go a long way. He's a funny guy. You know, he's kind of obviously. I love the start when he does that, like, rack focus and the guitar pops in. Do you know what I mean? And like these little things, the repetitiveness of that, and you know, you get this formula, and I can feel, and obviously we brought it up tonight, like, you can suddenly feel a channel just get this momentum, if you know what I mean, and honestly feel like he's at the start of that.
I like there's almost no creator I don't like. I'm trying to think of one that I really don't like. I can't. I mean, Greater Sapien, amazing. all of the
suppose you wouldn't
beardsmen.
watch them. You wouldn't watch them if you didn't like them.
Exactly.
If you know what I mean. So,
I think
Brainy Beaver, though. Brainy Beaver makes me laugh so hard. I had him. I decided to binge watch old Brainy Beaver videos the other night,
yeah.
and my husband ended up getting annoyed with me because I was sat there in bed just laughing my head off. It was ridiculous. I think he's a natural comedian. I do.
Brainy is amazing,
is.
but at the same time, he makes me
intense.
rage so hard at his ADHD. Not at him, not at Brainy, but at his ADHD. His shiny, like when he's on Fight Channel.
Like, if you were like running a comedy show though, and like you had like someone not turn up, you could literally hand him a mic and just say, "Look, stand on that stage for 15 minutes," and he would have people laughing.
Make me laugh, wouldn't it? Definitely.
He'd probably make half of them leave, but the other half would be in hysterics.
Oh yeah. But Brainy is perfect on Fight's game show.
Yeah.
Stupidity is not alright. I'm hoping to get on there soon, but I don't think I will.
Why not?
Because I haven't talked to Fight about it yet.
Yeah, no, dude. Honestly, if you just ask, he'll have you on there, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Because I've been doing pretty good in the side chat. For anybody who watches, I actually post mostly troll answers, and then right before the answers like revealed, I'll give my real answer, and I'd say 5 times out of 10 I get it right, which is better than most of the people I've seen on there. Alien X looking at you.
Yeah, I was on there this week. Me and Alien X lost. That was quite embarrassing, to be honest. But I did very well against Brainy Beaver in that, like the flat earther, like pretending to be one. So obviously, I suppose kind of had a bit of an advantage there. That was really fun.
You can't beat Beaver. Not in that.
No, I mean, he is another level, quite literally.
His ADHD helps him out in that situation.
It really does.
He's like Rain Man, and but for comedy. Oh, that's absolutely legendary. We have another guest as well. We have Juju Bear Memes. If you are there, mate, I'm just about to add you to the stream.
Hello.
How are you, buddy? Are you okay?
I am great. I haven't been on here in a while.
Yeah, good to speak to you, mate.
I think the last time you were on was when myself and Bullet Bill shit stomped Edward.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was true. Yeah, that got a little heated, didn't it? Yeah, I remember that.
That got a little bit.
Yeah, I was just taking a little bit of break. I was just taking a break from my schoolwork here.
I remember you saying, buddy. Obviously at the time, not going to bring up God straight away, but I am. Because you obviously weren't ruling out things, and you were saying, were you looking into Wiccan and things like that? You said.
Oh yeah.
Not to call you out. You can quite.
No, I'm fine. I'm pretty open about things. Yeah, I mean, I think technically I could be classified as a witch now. I mean, I carry around, like, I wear crystals and stuff now. Like, I have some necklaces and I have some rings now that have crystals on them. Whether they work or not, they still look cool, and and I've casted a few spells in quotations. Just whether they work or not, still cool. You know what I mean?
That's fair enough. That how you said they still look cool. That's fair enough.
I was gonna be like,
I don't think crystals, if they look good.
I don't believe they're gonna do anything, but I have crystals, like, just because they look pretty. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there's even one thing. Obviously, you have crystals in watches, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Like the vibrations, and I'm not saying there's anything woo behind it, but
I'll be right back. Actually,
they're vibrating around.
He's going to go and get his woo.
Yeah.
Either that or his gun. I'm a bit worried.
Oh God, I'm going to run away.
It's like, I can't talk about this crystal shit.
No.
No, Juju Bear, honestly, on a serious note, though, I do respect that. I mean, everything you just said, that's absolutely sound. You don't know if it does anything, but it looks good. So that's cool. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel good, you get good energy off it. So can't be bad, can
Exactly.
it?
Actually, you
That's
know what?
exactly
You
my
nailed it.
mentality.
Exactly.
You know, even if magic turns out to not be, you know, a real thing, you know, it's still like a mental exercise that's can be good for you.
It's still damn interesting,
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. It's geology in a way, isn't it? Obviously, like, you know, a crystal, even that is fascinating in itself. How
Oh yeah.
did they all
Yeah.
form? You know, how do
Yeah.
they form separately? And
They usually
the way, you
form.
know,
They usually form quickly, as lava cools. You know, like if you know, under the ground, if lava or magma, if it cools quickly enough, you know, at certain rates, certain different kinds of, you know, minerals, at different rates, it will form different crystals. Usually, that's how it is.
That's cool, man. That is
I
cool.
respect that.
I see.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
sound.
I have well, my missus, well, yeah, I'll say missus again now. Like she was actually the woman that I kind of split up with when Flat Earth became like between us. But she's a Wiccan herself. Like she believes it.
Cool.
You know, follows the Wiccan, and that's almost, not sure if you saw it, but it was almost an inspiration behind the video, the Witchfinder General video that I did, the history one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but yeah. So all I see from it is, you know, it's to love nature. And I heard someone say the other day, like, they actually left Wiccan, and a lot of people say, like, it's one of the only things where you can leave and you won't have like a wrath against you, if you know what I mean. Like, say if you join Scientology or you join Flat Earth, you know, you leave, suddenly you're the enemy. But apparently, like,
Yeah.
Wiccan is one of the only things where you can join, you can go again, and no one's gonna call you a shill and try and stab you in the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I just,
Um,
I don't know. Maybe I'm biased now because my missus is a Wiccan, but
No,
I think
actually,
out of all religions, I think being a pagan, I think that's the most respectable religion because it's about nature. It's not about some. Oh, it is obviously they have. I don't know. Most of pagan religion is about nature. It's about worshipping what is actually there. I think that's pretty cool.
yeah.
yeah. I don't think you have to, which I don't like with a lot of religions, is you have to bow yourself down to the god, and you have to kneel and, you know, kind of repent your sins and say you're sorry.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah, you're
that's
usually
where I
taught that,
don't
oh,
understand
you're
religion.
inherently a corrupt
You're born a
being, and you're
sinner.
not.
And
You're. Yeah.
You're unclean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they usually teach you.
You're
My
a
family was
broken
Catholic.
person.
My family were
yes,
Catholic. My grandparents, for example, I actually respected them, even though they were really devout
back in
Catholics.
1 minute.
They never pushed it on the rest of us ever, and I respected that. I think that's the right way to go.
That's good. That's the best way to have a religion, as long as you're not like trying to push it on someone else.
Yeah, it's the way it should be. I respect other people's beliefs. I really do, and I respect other people's. I respect people that are into religion and whatnot, but just don't push it on other people. It's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up religious, quite religious, in fact. My mom forced me to go to church with her as a child, and that's one of the reasons why I got screwed up as a kid. Religion is not for children.
My dad was the most hilarious Scottish Irish Catholic going. He attended my christening in an orange shirt, which anybody that knows anything about Ireland knows that is a big no. Orangemen were Protestants, and my dad came to my Catholic christening in an bright orange shirt, and then never took me church ever. And so when my little brother was born, my mum put a foot down. No, he's not getting christened, not having it. So, yeah, okay. My dad was funny.
Religion causes a lot of problems, I've found.
Yeah.
War,
especially
for one thing.
What was that?
About Matt Powell? Sorry. Oh, I was going to say what Creaky Blinder did about Matt Powell. You know, the video how he blamed the Columbine shooting on the people being what's it? Believing in evolution and being atheists and whatnot. I found that absolutely disgusting, just despicable.
Do they not realise like how terrible a human being they are being by saying that? Do you know what I mean? Like, do they not see it? Like, they need to put a mirror to themselves sometimes and actually.
You know, my beloved grandparents, who were devout Catholics, they would never have said something like that ever. They would never have said something like that, and they were devout Christians, devout. I mean, my granddad used to go to church every day. Yeah,
and most Christians are blooming lovely people. You know,
exactly.
I wouldn't have anything against them. Like 99%. And that's what I always like, you know, bringing it back to Flat Earth for a second, but I'll say to him like, oh, you say the Bible's a flat Earth book, but ask the Archbishop of Canterbury or the Pope, like, what shape is the Earth? You know, like any of the leaders of the religion, what shape is the Earth? It's a globe. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you cannot use that as an argument.
People like Matt Powell and Kent Ovind and whatnot, they bring shame on all Christians. They really do.
But I mean, there's other religions that do the same as well. Islam, for instance, promotes the use of child slaves.
Really?
And we see in Middle Eastern countries, children are sold as slaves and sex workers. Simply because of things that were said in the Quran, probably taken out of context, that makes them justify that belief. And that's why organizations such as Child Rescue Organization, I'll have to look into them again. I've done some work with them in the past. They are so important. They go into these Middle Eastern countries and these countries where there are children slaves, and they will actually take them off of wherever they are being enslaved, and they will rehome them in a different country.
That's good. That's good.
And they will go into a country whether they are sponsored or not. They will go in whether there is a threat of force or not. And they've had a couple of people who have gone into these countries get killed, and they still don't stop. Now, I will say it is a primarily Christian organization, but I can't hold that against them because of the work they do.
Of course.
Which again kind of goes back to most Christian organizations are probably absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, honestly.
See our Child Rescue Coalition. That's my bad. I forgot the name for a second. But there's a link to anybody who cares.
Has anyone got the stream running in the background?
It's not me.
I think Juju does.
I have the stream running. It's not, the volume's not on.
Oh.
I will double check.
Steamy Cup of Reason. Hello, mate. Good to see you.
Ooh,
there's a link at the top, Steaming, if you want to jump on. Pin comment.
I do have a quick bone to pick with Steaming.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jump on, Steaming. Pin
Very
comment.
Specific.
Very specific.
It's in one of his earlier Pain of Progress videos. So in it, he said that the Pax Romana was a period of peace in the Roman Empire, and it was not. It was a period of relative peace. There were still wars going on. It was just less less violent of a period than any other time in Roman history. Just one word. I just have to kind of jab that in there every time I see
He's
season.
in the office. He can't join.
Oh well.
Is it me that's echoing then? There's like a strange echo, I think. Is it me? But I've got nothing running apart from silence.
I don't think I hear any echo.
I do hear an echo, but I have the stream running. It's muted. It's not on my end.
Might just be like a Tinterwebs thing, like an internet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
StreamYards is it's kind of weird, to be honest, sometimes.
Hold on, maybe if I go turn off my fan, that might be it. You guys get to listen to my creaky bed. Have fun with that.
Somebody's getting a little excited while turning off his fan.
Oi.
Sorry, I had to. You mentioned your creaky bed that we heard the springs.
I stepped on my bowl on the way over there. Just luckily I didn't put my foot into it. That would have been real awkward. Just, I don't know, some kind of food. My room is a complete mess right now. I've been doing lots of schoolwork recently, and I've just been neglecting my room, and so I've just been sitting in my piles of clothes and cups and things.
I've been fairly depressed recently, so I haven't been cleaning my house like I should be. So I started doing that yesterday, and I still have a long way to go before my house is clean. So I know exactly what you mean.
Ooh.
Yeah, cleaning.
I've been there. Yeah.
I'm number one hand. I am.
The act of cleaning does usually help me. How about you? Does it help? Yeah.
But it's getting the motivation to do it in the first place. That's tough.
I'm gonna be back in 3 minutes, guys. I'm sure you guys can keep it yammering, keep it yattering.
3 minutes. 3 whole minutes.
Usually,
oh my god.
Usually, if I really need to do something, I'll tell one of my friends, or text them, be like the previous day, text me tomorrow at whatever time to remind me to do something, because it kind of gets your brain to think, oh, if I don't do this, kind of letting them down, and letting yourself down is a lot easier than letting someone else down.
I'm pretty good at letting everybody down. Just ask Tanner.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. No, I love the other swordsmen. They give me a lot of motivation to go out and do things that I normally wouldn't do.
I love the intro to the Four Swordsmen. I love it. It's brilliant. It's perfect.
I can only take credit for the music. I found the music.
Which is amazing.
And Little Wolf did our original intro, which was phenomenal. And then Tanner redid it, and he added the sword sound, the sword being drawn and slicing the flat earth. And I think that intro is so amazing.
You should always be very proud of yourselves. You really should. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah.
And none of it would be possible without our producer, Mute Donkey. He keeps us all in order. He's the one that's actually in charge behind the scenes and not so behind the scenes. So I really respect him too. And then Surf, well, he's our emotional support boy. He's kind of a good boy, but kind of not. He can be naughty sometimes.
I love that song. It's the song out of Vikings, isn't it?
So the original song that's in the beginning is a translated song called My Mother Told Me.
Yeah.
And it's just talking about how Vikings would try to progress in their society by buying a longboat and doing their family business of raiding.
Raiding people.
And they would hire a crew and go raid a village.
Yeah.
And the outro song is about a very specific type of Viking called a berserker. Berserkers were given very specific drugs, and they were typically very small people, like my build, but a little bit bigger.
I'm expecting that.
Had a complete disregard for their own safety and were given a certain type of drug that basically is PCP. Very few people could stop them. They wouldn't stop when they were stabbed because they didn't feel it. And the drugs that they had taken would actually start coagulating the blood. And so it would make it very hard for them to bleed out, which is the primary way that people die in conflict.
Berserkers are they're the legendary Vikings over here anyway. They're the ones that we really know about. They're the ones that, you had them in a fight, they went mental, nothing stopped them.
Yep. And there were different types of Vikings as well, who were berserkers. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, I've heard about the berserkers and their drug usage.
There's that famous chest set as well, isn't there, that was found? I can't remember where it's found now. I can't remember if it was a UK island, somewhere, British island. But in one of the pieces, it's a berserker, and he's there biting on his shield.
Yep.
It's brilliant. It's amazing. Brilliant.
They had very bad teeth because they would bite on the iron rim.
Yeah.
And they would foam at the mouth. When they had about 45 minutes of being superhuman in terms of strength and the ability to fight before they just lost their minds. And went into their berserker rage, for lack of a better word, and killed everything friend and foe.
They were scary.
But most of them, as soon as they were sober, for lack of a better word, they were completely docile. They wouldn't even raise a hand to defend themselves. This is all.
I imagine so.
It's all historical documentation. I can claim no special knowledge on that. It's just from the research I did on Berserkers after hearing Danheim's song. And I have to hand it to them as well. They just let us use their song. I messaged them and I said, hey, I would like to buy a license to this song and some of your other music for use on a YouTube video. They're like, what's the channel? I gave them their channel name, the Four Swordsmen. They said, don't worry about it. Use it as long as you want. We appreciate that you use it.
I feel a bit guilty. I've not heard your outro. To be honest, I've not heard that song. I've only heard your intro.
Oh, well, make sure you. I'll post a link to that in the
I'll check it out,
chat too.
I've got a question actually for all three of you, and I'd love it for you to give as in-depth answer as possible. I'm going to kind of go round and ask Juju Bear first, if he doesn't mind, and then ask Isa or Isa. Isa and Fohammer. Sorry, Isa. Juju Bear, how did you stumble across this mad little corner of YouTube? And did you ever question that the Earth is flat?
Well, okay. So here's what I do when I'm like faced with like an option of like 2 or 3 or 4, things of like what could be true. I kind of just sit and think about it, and I kind of like try to use logic and I try to get rid of all like any biases I have that would make me believe one thing or the other. So, and I did just, sit there and think, and of course, logically, the Earth is round, and it would be so hard to fake that, it's round. So that's how
That
I
argument alone is enough.
that was my questioning of that in quotations. But I've never really gone so far as to like, you know, look into it, you know, try to make myself believe or anything like that. And how I found your channel and got into this, I was watching Simon Dan, and I think you were either on a Flat Earth fail compilation or he did like a full video on one of your videos. And then later I think he made a video where he mentioned that you had, you know, returned to normality.
Yeah. That actually, I remember that. Yeah. I'd actually already come out as a ex-flat earther, and he messaged me and was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, you're on my Flat Earth Friday video." There is such a weird echo, isn't there? Is it just me?
There's an echo. It's fairly.
It's funny. I'm not hearing anything.
That's probably.
I think it's me. I think it's me, because someone actually said the only in the chat, the only person they're not hearing an echo from is Juju Bear. Like, so that's a bit weird, isn't it? But
Do you have
so
the
weird.
stream running unmuted in the background?
I've got it running unmuted, like you know, actually muted, if you know what I mean, like no sound
The
whatsoever.
unmuted stream muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
Because otherwise, if I had the volume on, that'd be a disaster, wouldn't it? If I was just going,
Yeah, that's what I did. When I first joined, I had it on in the background.
after all that time, like, no, I'm not quite that drunk yet.
Yeah.
I need to get more drunk. I've got a bottle this time. What is this?
This isn't fair. I've run
Kiwi
out.
Island cider.
I'm not impressed. I'm not happy.
Why not?
I've got a glass of water.
Water superior, honestly.
Gatorade.
I mean, where would we be without water, though? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like
Water, we would have beer.
Well, without water, there wouldn't be any humans to debate the shape of the Earth. So it's really good that we have water.
Water is the most. Water is one of
That's
the
what
most
it sounds
severe
like.
addictions human has.
That is
I
very
mean,
true. Also, oxygen. I'm
Yeah.
addicted to oxygen.
Oxygen withdrawal is in fact lethal.
Yeah. That's one
I
way to
always
put
said
it.
to
Yeah.
friends, like, how can you deny gravity? Like, when the air you breathe is held to this planet with gravity, if you know what I mean. Like, without it, like, again, like, say water, that again is fundamental to life, is gravity, whether it's a force or not. I don't give a shit, sleeping warrior, I don't care, but it exists. And yeah, we couldn't even live without it, and people deny it, and I used to, but it's unfathomable, really. You know, we literally could not breathe without gravity.
If it was density and buoyancy, the heavier gases would be falling to the ground, and we would suffocate.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
Sleeping warrior, I'd like to see you try to breathe without. I would like to see you try to breathe CO2. It won't work very well. Let me know, because I'll have an oxygen mask for you.
Isa,
Oh.
same question to you. How did you find the community, and did you ever consider that the Earth could be flat?
She
Oh, I
gone.
think she's just gone. Yeah, I think she may have accidentally maybe gone to unmute and
hit lift
dropped out or
studio.
something, maybe.
Or she crashed. I think I did that one time where my computer crashed, and I had to log back in.
Wouldn't surprise me. It happens to me as well. I think I've got some terrible echo that just keeps happening, and I'm sure it's happening at my end because I know all you guys are definitely going to be muted. So It's got to be something at this end.
Yeah.
Mr. Fohammer, though, I am going to ask you, whilst we're waiting if Isa does appear again, how did you find the community? And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to the second question. Did you ever consider that the Earth could be flat? But I'll still ask it. But first of all, how did you find the community?
So I found the community about 4 years ago with the Non Sequitur show. There's some people in the chat that I know back from those days. This was just about 4 years ago. I just left the army. I lost everything that I knew. All my friends were gone. I was depressed. I was lonely. And I was just looking through YouTube at one point I was working night shift like I am now. And there was nothing going on. And I found Non Sequitur show, Flat Earth debate. How could anybody debate this? Watched it. And I felt welcomed by everybody there. Even though I didn't chat for a little while, I felt like it was very tastefully done. And so I kept watching. And then I saw Team Skeptic and FDFE. And so I started watching them. This was when they had maybe 1,000 subs each. So I immediately subscribed to them, started watching them, loved their created content, loved their live streams, loved the debates. And then I found Simon Dan as well at around the same time. And it was right around when he had 100 subs. So I like to say I was his 100th sub, but probably 150, 200. So I've been in the community for a little while. But yes, I have considered that the Earth could be flat. Mostly it's those incredulous moments where you're just kind of trying to grasp the scale of everything going on. How could the Earth rotate 1,000 miles an hour? Well, it doesn't. It rotates at 1 revolution per day. Twice as slow as this watch, in fact. You brought up watches. That's what I ran to grab. And, all of the flat Earth things on the surface seem very convincing when you don't look into it and you just take the flat earther's word for it. But when you actually do even the bare minimum of research, you understand that the Earth cannot be flat. Or if it is, there's a 0.0001% chance of it being flat. There's a very small percentage of the entire body of our knowledge being wrong. And that's something no flat earther will admit, that they could possibly be wrong. And that's what turned me off to flat earth, to even watching the videos. I refuse to watch any flat earthers videos simply because
I think credit really though, I mean, is due to you actually considering it, if you know what I mean, because unless you are, say, a pilot or something, then of course you wouldn't consider it because it's impossible. But obviously you would have known about Coriolis effect, I think, a little bit, obviously with your history in the military and stuff. But
we didn't touch it in the military.
I do not.
So
be careful. No, don't say that.
That's why I'm amending my statement. So as an infantryman, I didn't touch it because the distance that I would be shooting was no greater than 500 meters. Snipers in sniper school do. They typically don't apply. Sorry, go ahead.
The difference between a surveyor and a geodetic surveyor, I suppose, isn't it?
Yep.
You could ask one and go, no, we don't take into consideration the Earth's curvature. This surveyor said the Earth's flat. No, you just didn't ask the right type of surveyor.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
As a competitive shooter, so I haven't competitively shot in a little while because of the coof and whatnot. Try not to get your stream taken down.
No, mate, that's okay. I've deliberately demonetized this stream, so everything's welcome. Okay, I'm going to delete it in 24 hours.
That means you can swear.
Yeah, you can fucking swear.
Watch your goddamn language. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry that I disappeared.
But yes, snipers use Coriolis and Yatvas. Infantry and rangers don't unless they're a designated marksman. Then they'll learn the theory behind it. They won't apply it. And I'm using theory as in something like machine gun theory, how to properly apply a machine gun in a war zone. That is a theory. And the U.S. uses it. We have the most successful military in the world. We're obviously onto something. But anyway, I digress.
No, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean, dude. We have another guest as well. This is turning into a bit of a party. We have Frank being Frank now about to add you to the stream, buddy. This is turning into a bit of a party. We have
Hello.
being Frank now.
Hey, how's it going?
Add you to the stream, buddy. This is turning into a bit of a Has somebody got the stream?
Hang on, I might
Being
actually.
Frank.
Yep, that's
Hey,
my
how's it
fault. I'm
going?
sorry. That was me.
That's okay, mate. Not a problem. How are you, mate? You
It
okay?
happens.
I'm doing very well. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
Go
I don't
ahead,
think
man.
I've ever.
Not bad, thanks.
I've been talking to you a lot in chats lately. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
Yeah, same.
So, well, what's the conversation tonight, guys? What's happening?
We're just having a chill. Yeah, we're just kind of just having a chin wag, chewing the fat, shall we say? Yeah, and just kind of seeing where it goes. We may as well ask you actually, because I've been going around the sort of table. How did you kind of come across the community? Is the first question, and then the second is, did you ever give the possibility of flat Earth any credence? Did you ever look at it and think maybe?
To answer your second question first, respectfully, no. Then I came across it eventually through a Joe Rogan podcast. Somebody I looked up to greatly, Eddie Bravo, brought it up on that podcast, and then it kind of got me going. Is there really people that still think that? And then I found guys like Dan and Katz and all that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of got balls deep in it.
Balls deep, love it. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that. I mean, were you genuinely like a fan of Eddie Bravo? Do you know what I mean? Like, he actually is just quite a funny guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will say that. Like, you know, it's almost a shame, like, because I do love listening to him, and it's like, you should see it, man. Like, there's no curvature. What do you want about it? Just like,
Look into it, bro.
yeah.
You know, he's very compelling when he speaks too, because especially when he talks about the Tower 7 stuff, you know, that some of that stuff is very compelling when he's talking about it. But you know, that whole flat Earth stuff, he even had Joe going, "Come on, man, like really?" But no, you know, I respect you guys for thinking for yourselves, you know, first of all, and asking why. You know, it's people like you, especially in Ranty, that I respect even more
Yes.
because you're able to learn. And you know, it's the guys like Austin Whitsitt and Nathan Thompson that are just you know, not even
Nathan scares me. Yeah, Nathan scares me.
Yeah, he's legit scary. Like he's a guy who could definitely end up being a stalker, you know, or something.
We have, randomly enough, we actually have another ex-flat earther as a guest, Jose JG. I'm about to add you to the stream, buddy. Yeah, so this is like...
Aha! I remember seeing you the first time I joined.
Howdy, Jose. I think this is our first time interacting.
I still look like a flat earther, but it's just the beard. I gotta keep it. No, I promise I escape all that shit. The beard is just sexy in a Puerto Rican, man. Yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you for letting me in, man.
To be fair, is there really a flat Earth look yet? Has it been around?
No, it's not. But when there's kind of a pattern when you see the clown show and the activism and shit out there. Most of them have beards, like disgusting beards.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. It's my grandpa's look. Oh, got it.
Fair enough.
I read a quick question. Fohammer. That's the
Yes.
question that I read. I've been lurking in the background and I saw a question asked to you, and that was an interesting question that came to mind. What kind of research did you do? You say, like, I look into these things, but with just a little bit of research that you do, you're going to realize what is right, what is wrong, and you can figure it out by common sense and stuff. But what research did you do? That's, I don't know. Honestly.
So I was an EMT for a while, so I always loved reading peer-reviewed stuff on new medical techniques coming out. I applied that to the shape of the Earth, and I would do just cursory Google searches about peer-reviewed papers on, for instance, the Cavendish experiment. I don't have any links right now that I can just give. I'm just referencing that. But I read a great peer-reviewed paper on that. Well, obviously gravity's a thing. I went on and read peer-reviewed papers on Coriolis and Youthful, and I learned about those in the recce platoon, but I never applied them because I wasn't a DMR or a sniper. But I did become a competition shooter. So I learned about Coriolis and Youthful on my own, and through observations I made. And then I went to Google and I wondered exactly what force was making my bullet skew. And I found my answer, Coriolis Youthful. Well, the Earth spins. If it spins, it's probably not flat.
That's a nice segue because that was the second part of my question. Do you have a short definition for Coriolis? What is the Coriolis? Either if you want to do Coriolis effect or Coriolis force or just the Coriolis. Can you describe it in layman's terms?
Yes.
To understand. I struggle to talk about Coriolis.
Yeah,
like
I
up to today.
I don't understand.
I don't
Coriolis.
talk about that. I listen to it. I say, like, dude, I'm more confused than when I started listening to it. People that really know about this stuff. I talk to pilots. I talk to Blue Marble Science, Bob the Science Guy, and George, and all these well-known people that know their shit. And at the end of the day, I go like, oh my god, scratching my head. The inertial reference frame, non-inertial, and all this kind of stuff. Can you summarize it in a layman's term for me?
I will do my best. So Coriolis and Youthful are two different forces caused by the same effect. Well, I mean, they're the same force, but they're separate. Let's see. Actually, this will be. So Youthful is if I'm shooting here and I'm shooting at a target here, this object, while it's rotating, will change the trajectory of my bullet up or down, depending on which way you're shooting, because the Earth is moving towards you or away from you. And this is a base level explanation. It's not technically accurate, but it's a good way to think about it. So you're going to be
not away from you, though. It's away from the bullet, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or towards it. And Coriolis, if I'm shooting from here to here, it's the change in angular momentum as the bullet travels. So you won't see any real deviation at 300 meters or 600 meters. It's not until you get to the 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters, 1,600 meters that you're really going to have to start applying that. And even then, it's such a small deviation compared to something such as windage that a lot of people ignore it out of hand. They're the losers in competitions. And most of the people who refuse to apply it don't do very well in something like the Mammoth Sniper Challenge, which is the best sniper. It's a competition for the best snipers in the world. I do not claim to be the best sniper in the world, but I am going to one of the Mammoth Sniper Challenges, either 2022 or 2023. And that should be fun.
Cool.
Oh, are you familiar with Tim Kennedy?
I am.
Yes, he's one of those competitors, and I've heard them. not them, but I've heard him break that down. It and that actually made a lot of sense. So well done.
Thank you. Like I said, it's not technically accurate. It's just an easier way to break it down and look at it.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to make it kind of make sense in a very, very simplified way.
Yeah, it's a super complicated effect to try to explain, especially in layman's terms, and without having, like myself, I don't have any degrees of any kind.
Same.
I just know what I know from learning. So
Sorry, really quick. If you see me looking to different, I'm just looking at the people while they're speaking. I'm just looking at them. Thanks.
Are you being coached, JG?
Other way.
He'll be
I did
back.
it too.
He'll be back.
It's mirrored.
We know what you're.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Jose, I was going to actually ask you though, mate. Like, what do you think of the whole Ranty situation? Obviously, you know, he was the, you know, to me personally, one of the biggest flat earthers to come back. I know you're an ex-flat earther like me. What do you think?
Flat earthers are losing their shit. They're spiraling. They're suffering. They're banging their heads left and right, bro. They're
on the front
going
line,
crazy.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
They are
You're
so
on the
desperate
trenches,
right
like,
now, aren't they? They're
you
so
know, like-
desperate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Like,
are. They
JD
are.
is on the trenches.
The the flat earthers are, you know, they got a big hit, a big loss with Ranty just being honest. And some of the planet earthers, the debunkers and stuff, they say like, yeah, but Ranty is full of shit because he's already seen observations like this. He already been talked about. But I remember since the beginning, since 2017, that I used to sit in panels with him in the Oakley show. I used to sit with Ranty in the Oakley show. We were the flat earthers, like the original, some of the original group, right? When Ranty was a young flat earther, me too, like beginning. And when he got the first camera and doing observations for the first time, I got involved with him too. He motivated me to buy me cameras and stuff like that too, right? So we were doing the same thing since the beginning. Ranty say, what I'm looking, I don't care what the sun and the moon and the stars and the eclipse and the stars, because I don't want to think about that. I want to find curvature local where I live. I want to land to land observations. And he always say, I got all these, the Blackpool Tower and in his neighborhood. So when he stumbled across this one that I was in his neighborhood, something he recognized, oh shit, the Blackpool Tower, I never seen this view. Let me look at it, and the mountains. So that's, I mean, it was a big wake up, and that made me realize, like, yeah, he was actually being honest. Did he make a lot of shit while he was a flat earther? Did he make a shit ton of excuses? Did he piss people off? Yes, that's what flat earthers do, right? So he had a skill to make shit up, to explain he was the globe hero for many years. I think Conspiracy Cats gave him kind of the name and the people. He was the globe hero. But he was able to pull excuses off his ass and explain this shit. It didn't make any sense, but he had skills with words, right?
He was honest.
I've
just thought of the litmus test. Oh, definitely. I've just thought of the litmus test, guys, to know who is a genuine flat earth believer and who isn't, is the people that actually come back. Do you know what I mean? Like, say, me, Ranty, Jose, like the actual people that honestly believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the ones that are going to stick around and stay around are probably the ones that don't believe it. And they're actually more in it because, like, they're getting off on, you know, say Oakley, you know, he's probably got one hand on his wiener half his stream, not being funny, like wanking himself off.
Oakley knows the truth. Oakley knows the truth. Oakley's all about the money. That's all he cares about.
And the way I came back, it was with my own observations that I did, just my own, zooming in and looking at shit up. I put a lot in the bucket. I used to delete a lot of stuff. I go like, I don't know how to explain this in a flat earth. As I was looking through the viewfinder, let me delete. But I save a few SD cards I say I'm just gonna go and shoot and record and zoom in and zoom out a lot of stuff. I was living in Texas by then. I lived for 7 months in Texas, and I went to Galveston area. and it was in a little coastline. There was a lot of container ships going and coming, and a lot of stuff 10, 15, 20 miles away across little Gulf areas. So that was beautiful for me to pan around and do a lot of snapshots. And when I sat down one day, I go like, I lived in there for 7 months, about 2 or 3 years ago.
Cool. I've been.
That was really cool, man. And then I came across this little one. I said, like, what the hell is this? Let me look at it in the map. It was a small lighthouse. The good about this one, it was an old lighthouse. They made it up into like water tower, but it had blue and white stripes, big thick blue stripes, like 15-foot big each one, blue, white, like 7 stripes. And what I caught over there, it was like the first top 3 stripes, and it was in the bottom just a little bit of trees and then the water. And I was trying to analyze it, overlap it, and doing it, and I did all kind of math, and it added up perfectly to the globe. I did an overlap, and the half bottom was missing on the water. No explanation, because I know I got the water and then I got land over it. The land wasn't going in a hole to the lighthouse, being in a hole block in the bottom, So it's kind of an easy things. I slept on it a little bit, and then I passed it around to a few Globers behind YouTube, personal stuff. They say like, dude, you got some good shit in here. Just look it up. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I say like, dude, this is like good evidence for the globe. But they say, you do whatever you gotta do,
You're willing to accept it as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, most flat earthers will.
I needed to see it for myself.
Yeah, like most flat earthers will then go the angle of attack, or and just make up some random bollocks to just carry on the lie.
I had excuse magnification. I mean, everybody say this image is showing magnification. So in the distance you're looking at, you're zooming in, and then you got this big ass invisible magic lens in the atmosphere that is magnifying the lighthouse, making it bigger, so it's kind of going down. Some magical bullshit.
Andy Crane's work.
Real quick, guys. My lights are flickering. I think my power is like going out a little bit, and so yeah, if I cut out again, that's probably why.
Oh, and it was you with the background noise, you. Yes, you know.
I hope you haven't got another snowstorm on the way, Juju Bear.
No, it's just a normal storm. Thank God. That was last time. That was crazy.
Yeah,
so the camera that I did my observations with, the thing is DST. I call it the Jeran. It was Jeranism's camera. The one that camera was featured is in the Netflix Beyond the Curve documentary or whatever. That's the camera I own. Jeranism actually, he mailed it. He mailed it to me. That was good stuff.
Lovely.
I still own it. I still got it right here, man.
Oh, you
That's
have
cool.
it. You mean the actual camera he used in the
I own
documentary?
it. Yep. I own it.
You know what? That's actually
That's
kind of cool.
brilliant.
That's actually kind of
That camera made
That's
me
a priceless
left
item
flutter.
right there.
That camera is the one that did observations for the globe and made me snap out of
Hey,
what I was going through. Yeah.
interesting.
That's got
That's
some
actually
sentimental
brilliant.
energy right there. Yeah.
That's
I do
brilliant.
have to
Yeah.
say this real quick, JG. I do respect you. I do like you. I do give you a lot of shit in the side chats. I just want to make sure that you know that there's no malicious intent behind it. It's just me trying to be funny.
Whatsoever, man. No, I'm the same. I mean, since I've been going through a journey where I am today, these past few months, I'm really happy where I am. I got my little show going almost daily. All kinds of people joining in and go on flat earthers. I give him hard time, and I give him, a little bit of hard time. I let him give me a hard time, but I like the trolling aspect of it. I like the psychology. I like pissing people off. I like people when they piss me off. Nothing personal either. It's kind of a part of the interaction. It feeds me. Like I said, like, I didn't want to do a show today. I said, like, I woke up a little late. I just going to deal with the dogs and just lurk around. I saw you guys. I said, let me go in and see if I go in a good mood. But if there's a chance for trolling and to piss somebody off, believe me, I will take it.
Oh, no, I'm the same way.
Jose's like Jerry
happens,
Springer.
yeah.
He's like the Jerry Springer, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to allow the people to talk, I suppose, and then let the shit flow.
I was very shy because I know I got the little accent or whatever, but I was really shy, even though I know what I speak. You can understand very well what I say, but I was holding back a lot. But I'm very vocal. I just let it flow. You know, if I mess up whatever I say, it is what it is. You know.
That's good.
No,
That's a good mentality to have. I like that.
Absolutely.
everybody's going to get something wrong at some point in time or another.
Everybody.
And that's the saying, you know, it's being misunderstandings, and I bump heads with a lot of people in here. We went through our phase, Six Truth and myself, for a little bit, you know. But it's all good, you know. It shit happens, you know. Nothing personal. Maybe in the moment, in the heat of the moment, a little bit personal, and you get pissed off. But then I say, like, whatever, man. We all having fun. We all doing this shit. We're kind of in the same boat, you know. If we're talking about Earth and the science and having fun here, having fun there, trying to interact and get to know each other. I mean, whatever. There's no need for malicious trolling, you know. Trolling is good, but troll responsibly.
Yep.
Yeah,
as
I
long
was
as-
going to say, like, not extended trolling. Like, you know, we kind of tested the waters out with each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's the internet. You know, like, if you're going to, you know, I actually, like I said before, I had like a few videos and I like done a back and forth, but I ended up deleting them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't want them on my channel anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like,
I avoided those. Yeah, I
it's
throw
all
back.
in the
I throw
face,
back in the
like-
comment section a little bit, and I avoided
Yeah.
talking in my channel about it
just-
because it will continue the cycle. I said, like, I just, you know, just let it be. You know?
It's like, and like I said before, dude, like if me and you are ex-flat earthers, we need to be on a team. Like, and I'm not saying like, you know, we need to be best friends holding each other's hands, but we at least need to show each other respect. And
Yeah. Interact when there's a
acknowledge what we're
chance
both
like that.
doing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I had like half an hour time off. I said, let me just jump in because if I'm having a cigarette
Yeah.
smoke, checking on my neighbors to see who I say hi, let me just then jump in the panel.
Yeah.
You know, might as well.
Yeah. You know, there's been way too much infighting over this side recently, hasn't there, with all this bloody fundraiser shit going on. Like, it's actually made me
Oh
feel
man, yeah, I heard about all of that. I'm glad that I'm not kind of a part of that. That's why I always say, and a lot of people taking it a bad way, but I say I'm a one-man gang. I kind of did my own shit. I built my channel. I hustled for every single subscriber I had. I got a big push by Conspiracy Cats that was unintentional. I woke up one day with I had 300 subscribers that I hustle every single day for them. I woke up a day with 900 subscribers. I go like, what the fuck? Conspiracy Cat sent me. Conspiracy Cat sent me. And I saw a video he posted the day before. If you guys are not aware, there's an ex-flatter, Jose JG. He's got a cool panel. Go check him out. And everybody was rolling. I think Blue Marble Science came in via that shout out, and Bob the Science Guy, and a bunch of other people. And then he kept spreading. So I'm happy with the almost 3,000 subscribers I got. It's beautiful because I hustle for them, and I'm good with it. I got a handful of views a day. I got 70 to 100 people watching a day. Fucking hey, I can't ask for more. You know, that's a total success. You know, I love it, man. I like it.
So how many have you lost since you flipped though?
Oh, when I flipped, I had like 500 subscribers when I was a flat earther, and I went down to like 200, 250. I lost half of them. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
That's crazy.
The attacks, you know, Frankie. I know Ranty is going through a phase right now. He's being attacked. He's being
I'm happy with the 15 subscribers I've
he's
got.
being told every single thing, called scammer. He's being accused of a plant, of being paid, everything. Yeah, man. He's being accused of everything, and I went through that phase. It's all good, you know. I still, up till the day today, I've been called a scammer, and I was never a flat earther, and I'm a plant and all that shit. Even though I never left, I was a flat earther, so the difference was that I never left. I came back from going every day to the Nathan Oakley panel for over a year, every single day, bro, for hundreds of these episodes of doing this cult like oath. What is the evidence of the curvature? No. Show me evidence of gravity? No. I mean, all this kind of shit. To one day say like, yeah, fuck it, flat earth is bullshit, the globe works, and I'm just gonna keep looking into this shit. To do my show, the first show I had 7 people watching live. I said like, yeah, success, so exciting. 4 months after that, I had 250 people watching my show. It got actually caught up really quick, you know, after Conspiracy Cats, after I got a subscriber about 1,000, I had 200, 250 people watching a day. Now, I lost a lot of subscribers this past year when a lot of people shifted to talk about the health issues and the situations going on, the politics, the health, changed a lot of the focus of a lot of people. But still, get 40, 50 people in one day, dude, I'm really happy because I said, like, dude, if I'm hosting a meeting and I got 20 people, that's a lot of people. I got 40, 50 people watching at home, interacting in the chat. That's beautiful, giving them people place to come in and hang out and troll each other and have a little bit of fun, That's good.
No,
That is
it's
good. Yeah.
great that we got guys like you out there that are willing to, or that are willing to say, you know what? Yeah, I was just confused. And, rather than having these guys like Nathan, or the two Nathans, I should say, that are just spouting nonsense just for a buck. And, they're not just confused on the way the world works. I think they know, but they're just doing it to scam people. And that's why I've never personally heard of you until just a few minutes ago, but I got a lot of respect for you for what you just said, because you were willing to learn and then change your mind to go, hey, I was confused. That's all.
I was never a debater. That's why
Jose that the OG, that
you don't.
Jose
Berserker.
JG is the original OG ex-flat earther. I'll quickly come in and say
Exactly.
that now.
You don't
He
find
is the OG.
original.
you don't find debates with me like with Glovers. You don't find those anywhere. But if you want to find me, go in any of the Nathan Oakley shows channel, from the show like 200 to like 600. That's like 400 shows. I was there almost every day. And we are joined now by Jose, and I did a bunch of presentations and I show a lot of videos and stuff, So you're going to find me kind of in those. And people talk about it like, oh, I remember I talked to Jose in Discord servers and these places, but I was never a debater. I never felt comfortable arguing in favor of flat earth versus a globe in like specifics or like regulated shows and shit like that. Now I was kind of a panel member. Then when I left flat earth, I said I'm just gonna do my shit, open a hangout to see if people want to support me and jump in and talk about this shit. And hell yeah, man, I like it. It's kind of one of those the older ones,
By the way, but I'm gonna get going. It's nice to talk to you all, and take care.
Always
Good to talk to you too.
Goodbye.
All right then.
See you.
Enjoy. Bye.
See you later.
You have a good one.
Interesting. Yeah, I went to the Pontchartrain Bridge. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, in New Orleans, Louisiana. There's a guy named Soundly. He was kind of the go-to guy. You're gonna see the bridge on the Pontchartrain Causeway in New Orleans, and you're gonna see the effect of curvature he did he did up and down in elevators. They did GPS data points. They went driving through the Pontchartrain with permissions. They took GPS data points. They modeled everything. I went over there. I drove from Florida to Texas. When I moved there, I stopped by Pontchartrain, and I had a smaller camera. Not much. I had a cheaper camera by then. I took some footage, and I got with Soundly. I said, like, Soundly, we gotta meet. I was a flat earther, and everybody like, holy shit, Jose, flat earth is gonna meet with a glober. That hadn't happened before, So that's gonna be weird.
How many flat earthers do you know that actually try and go out of their way to meet a globe earther to do observations together?
No, but when I did it in late 2017 or something like that, nobody had it. A lot of talk, and they never did it. And I actually contacted Soundly. He said, unfortunately, I got life shit to do. Oh, I cannot meet you. But he invited me. You want to come to my hangout? You're gonna find that in the Soundly channel. So I sat down with him as a flat earther. He said, all right, this is the coordinates where I was. This is the location. I was here, and he guided me through. So I went to, out of 4 places, I went to 2 of the places he went physically, and I did the same. And it was really close to what he got. That day was a lot of mirroring and atmospheric conditions, but I still got the same effect. And it wasn't as high quality because my camera was a smaller one, but still I got good stuff, And then when I came back from Texas to Florida, I stopped again. And I did the same. I did the same locations. That day was worst. I had nothing in the Pontchartrain Bridge. Super hazy, super cloudy. But I got in another location. It's called the Little Texas Bayou. It's a 7-mile stretch of a canal in between 2 little bridges as you go to Louisiana. So in the middle point, there's like a little bar dividing the 2 points. So I went to one end and I zoom into the other side, and you can see in 7 miles, you can see the curvature. And I got those videos uploaded on my channel. You can see the curve, and you know where the middle point is. You can see the little boats, fishing boats going over there. So I got that one really cool. A lot of people get pissed off, like, Jose, a flat earther, just going to places that the Glovers tell him to do and getting the same shit. Is he working with the Glovers? Is he manipulating the pictures? Is he being honest? People didn't know. I said, like, dude, I'm just grabbing the camera and zooming in and taking pictures. What the hell, you know? Weird
Yeah,
stuff,
as soon as as soon as you say the globe, you're obviously a plant. But like that Lake Pontchartrain thing, though, like it is so obvious because a flat earther will talk about perspective, where things will just kind of just angle down, won't they? But the Pontchartrain, you see the curve as well as the kind of perspective going down, don't you? If you know what I mean?
It's
And
crazy.
it's so obvious.
Yeah,
And if you don't have, when you are looking, last point, when you're looking at it, you go like, something looks odd because it looks such a big curve over such a small place, because you say like, damn, this bridge is 20, 25 miles or whatever, 20 plus miles. How do you see a big curve? You know, it's weird.
Yeah. I suppose like the further away it gets, the sharper the curve looks, I suppose. But I even kind of looked at it once, and I think it's there'd be a drop of about 180 feet, I think, over that distance. And the towers were 180 feet high, or very, very similar. So I kind of actually, when you looked at the scale like that, I thought actually that drop does work perfectly, if you know what I mean. Like it actually does. But it looks shocking.
Yeah, because you're using a zoom-in feature, you might be finding a little specific point, so you can see it looks exaggerated, but when modeled, but if you put in a computer program a circumference of the Earth of the exact size, and you grab this little chunk of 20 plus miles, you zoom it in, and you do but through a computer, you're gonna see exactly the same thing that we see in real life. Looks exaggerated curve, but it matches to reality. That's the beauty of it, you know.
Yeah, but back when you said when you were talking about the train, you know, kind of curving down, I was actually on JG's stream, and no, it was actually after the stream, I think, and I was, you know, talking with a bunch of people, you know, flat earthers and you know, just normal people, you know, just discussing it, and I was gonna pull up a picture of it, and before I even not a picture of that specifically, but a picture of is these power lines going over a lake, and you would see the sharp curve down, and before I even managed to pull it up, like there are all these flat earthers screaming like, "Oh, fake! Oh, you pulling up CGI? Oh, it's you putting manipulation."
The same guy that took the images from the bridge. He did the power lines. In that, I drove over there, but when I realized, like, whoa, there's the power lines, I didn't get time to get the camera and zoom in. I was driving too fast through. So.
That's equivalent of the argument of, you know, no. So
that basically is
incredulity.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dick Dawson in the chat. I got a video of Dick Dawson and me shouting at each other,
Oh,
insulting each other. Yeah. I got a video private. I watched it the other day. I said, dude, this is crazy. Dick Dawson and me insulting each other in the after show. Beautiful. Shout out to Dick Dawson.
I just kind of followed.
He's a legend,
the other day, so yeah, shout out to him too.
So
I wanted to tell you
is a legend.
Over here, we have a roller coaster. It's one of the world's largest roller coasters. It goes up to 420 feet or 425 feet, right on the edge of Lake Erie in northern Ohio. It's one of the Great Lakes over here. I'm sure you're familiar with your geography. Now, if you're standing, that lake is so large that if you're standing at the shoreline of it and looking across, you cannot see the other side. From the top of this roller coaster,
Lake Erie. I lived in Cleveland, Ohio. I went fishing there. I lived for 2 years in Cleveland. Yeah.
A top throw dragster. If you ride the top throw dragster at Cedar Point, you will see Canada when you reach the top of it, and that would not be possible on anything but a curved surface.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a Michigander, so I should know this. Lake Erie is right here, right?
So if this is the top of Ohio, Lake Erie is kind of like just right here, and then Ontario goes up that way. Like
Okay, so by the Detroit area.
yes, it's Sandusky, Ohio.
Okay, perfect. I remember Holmes correctly then.
Yeah, that's 2005. I left Puerto Rico and I went straight to Ohio in November. It was cold as a motherfucker. I never felt the cold. I lived 30 years in Puerto Rico, so it was tropical warm weather. 2 years to Ohio. I spent 2 winters. I say, hell no. My wife told me, Florida it is. I said, let's go to Florida. She said, my dad and my mom lived there. My father and mother-in-law. They say, come home. We live like 2 months with them and then we move on. I've been here for since 2007, bro, in Florida.
There's one thing colder than a Michigan winter, and that's my ex-girlfriend's heart.
Ooh.
Man, can't bash it like that though.
I'm sorry, I saw a perfect opportunity to insert that. I had to.
I tried
Think you might
Texas.
be listening?
Since I moved to Florida, I tried Texas, as I told you, mid to late 2017. Didn't like it, bro. Didn't like it. It was, I don't know, the colors. It wasn't as colorful. The people was odd to interact. And I'm a people person. I mean, you're in Florida. If I'm walking through the sidewalk, it's like so many colors and whatever weirdos come across. Hey, what's up, man? And we can talk about stuff. In Texas was different feel, different of people. 7 months, I said like, nah, let's pack up and go back to
You
Florida.
tell me, bro. I live here and I'm not entirely enjoying myself at the moment.
I mean, for an older guy like me, I'm in my mid-40s and living over there out of nowhere, kind of try to, I don't know, different, bro, different type of shit. I don't like it at all. I go in Florida here anywhere, any day of the week, man.
Nice. Let's have a sort of a change of course, shall we say? I'm hoping to hear a little bit more from Frank being Frank and Juju Bear. I'm just so intrigued as to say Frank being Frank. Like say, because from me being an ex-flat earther, I understand how I'm still involved in this argument. But say I also do become intrigued why somebody that never thought that would become quite what's the word, like involved in the discussion as well, if you know what I mean. And looking at it as an ex-flat earther, because people will say, why do you defend? Like, why do people defend the globe? Like, why does it need defending? And, I understand, but what was the kind of one thing that made you think, yeah, I'm going to kind of step forward? I noticed, obviously, you and LimeyPlay, I think, have formed a bit of a friendship, haven't you, and Mr. 42?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
They're very cool guys. I enjoy the company.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, I'm a former martial artist. I haven't practiced for years, but I'm a big Brazilian jiu-jitsu fan, a big MMA fan, and Eddie Bravo was always a hero to me. So when I'm listening to him on this podcast and I hear him bring up the idea of flat Earth, an idea that's been dead to me, anyways, for 600 years, it was just really shocking. So I got to looking into it, and then I found Simon Dan and Conspiracy Cats, and then I just loved what they do and how they do it, and I just kind of thought, hey,
this might happen like 1 or 2 years ago, right? I mean, not too far back because those channels haven't been up for too long. Like Conspiracy Cats and Simon Dan, they're newer. I mean, from me that I've been here for almost 5 years or whatever, right? I mean, like maybe the past 2 years or so. You heard it.
It was about 2 years ago. It was a fight companion podcast, and it was about 2 years ago. And then I just started really looking more into it, and I started finding out that finding other people out there like that are dangerous, in my opinion. Not so much you, ST, or you, JG, because like I said earlier, I didn't even know who you were till recently. But there's people out there that are seriously dangerous, like Nathan Thompson. And he's going around and he's telling children that what they're learning is wrong.
He's going to their school and doing that.
Exactly. And that is a huge problem for me. I'm a father of 4 kids myself. I got 4 teenagers. One of them just graduated high school, and they are all smart enough to make their own decisions based on what they've learned they've done these experiments. They've done the experiments to show they got afforded a lot more education than I did. When I was growing up here, I didn't get the opportunity to take things like advanced maths and stuff. Those were electives. I didn't care about school when I was in school. It wasn't until about 15 years ago where I learned the value of real knowledge. And then I started just getting hooked on educational documentaries and reading books from Neil deGrasse Tyson or whoever. But yeah, I just wanted to stop the misinformation, really, STSD. It's not about trying to prove anybody wrong or make anybody look stupid. I just want to correct the misinformation, or help to correct the misinformation, and maybe entertain some people along the way.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I think both JG and STSD left us, so
it seems so.
Well, it's anarchy now, guys. So let's completely derail this.
My favorite. Oh no, he's back.
Back.
Sorry, I'm such an idiot. Yeah. I was trying to I think our JG just dropped out, and I noticed a message, and I tried to open the message, and I cancelled myself out of the stream. But basically, he said he'd be back
he did
in
leave
3 minutes.
something in the chat there that says back in 3.
Yeah. I tried to read that and just exited the stream. It's 2:27 a.m. Luckily, I'm not working tomorrow though, so yeah, I've got to lay in. I'm all right.
I'm dying of boredom over here. One of my daughters got allergy, and it's been quite hectic around here. Like I said, I got 4 kids, so I got one of them who's just locked in a room like a prison cell, pretty much. And we're just waiting on her, and poor thing, I feel so bad for her.
Oh.
But we're all on lockdown right now, and so I just got a lot of time to sit down here and try to do some fun stuff.
Yeah, just have a chat. There's no bloody harm in it, is there?
Absolutely not.
How could you listen to Oakley? I don't. Simple as that. I don't.
I can't listen to Oakley because every time I hear his voice, I just hear him smacking his child.
Oh, mate.
I was sitting in there. I was sitting there that day when that happened, bro.
That just makes me sick.
I tell you a quick fact about Nathan Thompson, right? I met Nathan Thompson in person in late 2018 when I was living in Texas.
Man.
He did a meetup on Houston, and I went over there and met up with him. My wife was with me. That day he said and who are you? I don't know you, I said oh, I'm an Oakley guy, He said who's Oakley? I said, Nathan Oakley from YouTube, the Flat Earth debate. He said, I don't know who that is. I said you should know. He said no, I don't know who that is. I said, well, there's a guy that talks about the science and he does these housekeeping questions. He wasn't called like that, but I can explain in the format. He said I'm gonna have to check him out. So I introduced Nathan Thompson to Nathan Oakley in late 2018, right? So I got this meetup 1 week. Nathan Thompson was a big part of why I left Flat Earth. Not only because I already had that observation, just sitting on my hand of the lighthouse for a few weeks, and I was kind of letting him marinate to see what happens to come out. I was waiting. Oakley was off YouTube. He had a bunch of strikes at one time, and he was off for a whole month. All his channels got struck, right? So I was waiting, and then after I met Nathan Thompson, that was the drop that overflowed the cup. when me and my wife look at each other after 1 hour sitting with him and 7 other people of his Facebook group, I look at her, so I said, like, are we ready to go? She said, like, yeah, I'm ready to go. She told me, don't you never, ever invite me any other flat earth meetup. You know, I've been entertaining you being a flat earther. I go out with you to do your camera pictures because I like going to the beach and breathing the air. You know that she shut me down when I tried to talk to her about flat earth. And she said, but don't you never ever invite me to any real life meetup, bro. I felt so out of place. It felt so bad. It felt so not hostile, but so cultish. The way they look at each other, the way they admire him, the way they look at him, it was very uneasy to the feels, like being in a room with 7 other people that first time meeting. It wasn't something that, hey, nice meeting you, really cool, shake their hands, but then seeing him just praising to the Nathan Thompson God. And I told my wife, all that shit that he's saying, me being a flat earther, I can debunk him. Half of the shit he's saying is kind of bullshit. He just doesn't know the arguments. He's just parroting the same little script he has. And she said, don't you dare start arguing with him because I stand up and I leave. And that's when I said, like, no, should we leave? Yeah, let's go home. 1 week after I left the flat earth, I went to Arwin show. You guys heard of Arwin, the little Steven Seagal skinny kid looking, the wizard. So I went to Arwin and I left the flat earth in the Arwin show. Arwin titled Jose's Betrayal, his show, that was kind of the big hit, right? But then 3 months after that, Nathan Thompson was quiet on the. He barely did stuff in YouTube. On and off, he threw a little documentary tip, but he wasn't this type of debaters in panels and stuff. 3 months after, he came in and he started debating people. How did he sound like? Like a copy of Nathan Oakley. The same script, the same arguments, the same garbage that Nathan Oakley spewed. But when he met me a few months before, he didn't know who Nathan Oakley was. Did he know who Nathan Oakley was? He lied to me? Or did he actually start watching Nathan Oakley and he learned of his arguments? I think I created the Nathan Thompson that we know today. I want to take credit for it.
No.
Sorry, but I'm sorry, man.
So now we know who to blame.
Yeah.
From the horse's mouth.
Well,
So
damn.
I think this needs another investigation.
Yeah, I think we need the plot hole on this now, don't we?
Man.
Yeah, I had some weird interactions with it, but that was the first person that I met in real life from the discussion. And then a while after, when I was in Florida back and whatever, I met with a guy called F.E. Disciple. F.E. Disciple, he liked doing this. He liked going out and talking to people, all that kind of shit. And he actually visited me to my place. He texted me, he sent me an email. Hey, Jose, I'm in your area in Florida. I'm doing a work. Do you want to meet up? I said, like, yeah, come over my place. He said, send me the address. I go, like, fuck it. I said, in the address, what's the word that can happen? He can try to come to my place and do something to me. Then I'm going to go well, So he actually came in really cool with another guy, and we talked for like an hour. I did a quick 8-minute clip with him, talking to him. Quick kind of speedballing debate. It was fun.
It makes me laugh with Nathan Thompson at the minute. Like, you see him in the other night in that hot tub with his like little glass of champagne and everything.
He's
and I was like, he's actually got it sorted. Like, he's traveling around and like, spending the night with people, taking absolute advantage of them. They're probably buying him takeaways, buying all his drinks every night, and like he's basically just traveling the globe. Like I don't know. But
the coolest meetup that I had was actually a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. C4, you might have seen the names letter C and number 4 in the chats around. So C4, I know him for a few years. So C4, we actually met 6 or 7 months ago. He was on his way to Florida. He stopped by. We hung out for like half an hour. We went quick, a little something out. And he said, another day we'll meet. So he came in a week and a half ago, and we hung out for a few hours. He actually went to a museum, space museum, and he brought me some toys. He brought me a big Saturn V rocket, launchable rocket. He brought me a couple NASA shirts, a nice patch, a little moon man, a blue marble poster. He brought me a bunch of NASA goodies, bro. I was thrilled. We sat down, we went to the kitchen, we're eating mangoes, we're ripping mangoes apart in my sink. We're getting myself. It's cool, man, to meet people online and hang out face to face, bro. It's beautiful stuff.
That's the only way, and I say we don't see eye to eye. There's no problem, but you are still a bit of a moon landing denier, aren't you?
Yeah,
Mr.
it is what
Hazel?
it is. It still doesn't
Oh,
change
I can't.
reality and the shape of the earth. Yeah.
Irish Demon and I are
man.
coming down to Florida. We might have to beat some sense into you.
Hey, yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I'm thinking. I'm still thinking because Bob the Science Guy, he comes once a year to Tampa Bay, Florida, and that's really in my. I'm in Tampa Bay, Florida area. I'm in Largo, next to Clearwater, right? So he hopefully he's coming in the next few months, and we're gonna be in town to meet over there. C4 also told me he's gonna do the drive to meet up, and I asked Bob the Science Guy if we get a date a few weeks ahead on time and a place, I can advertise and try to do an actual meetup over here in Florida to see who shows up. If it's only him and me, beautiful. It's gonna work out because that was the main plan. But if a few other people show up, that's cool, man. We'll do it. And we'll record a little meetup between us,
I don't think you'd meet I don't think you'd meet Bob in person and end up still thinking we didn't go to the moon.
No.
Like honestly, like,
Bob's intelligence level is like way up here. I'm somewhere down here. STST is somewhere up here.
no. But Bob is like.
No, I'm just a guy with English is my second language. I don't got higher education than high school, but I like talking to people and I like picking in people's brains, and I like learning about what their belief. Where I was a flat earther because of what I believe, and I wanted to hold on. I had to let it go because it's bullshit. So now I want to learn what they got to offer me about flat earth. I want to be a flat earther. I want them to tell me what to go. I don't want them to ask me about the globe. I don't want to teach them about the globe because I cannot explain it to them. But if they are flat earthers, they don't believe in the globe, tell me why and tell me about the flat earth. It's kind of a little slightly different approach,
But I would also say take what they tell you to somebody who does know, such as a PhD Tony or a team skeptic, FTFE even.
But also, you don't need a degree or any type of qualification to realise the Earth isn't flat. If you know what I mean. That's one thing I always try and push is something flat earthers will say is like, "Oh, you're educated, you're indoctrinated, you know what I mean?" But you don't even need anything like that to be able to discern to yourself, like how JG did and with Ranty with that photo. You don't really need science. You just need a critical mind.
Yep.
And
and Google.
Science is scary. I don't know science. I can't explain gravity. But I know there are now people that can. Do you know what I mean? And like it's having trust in people, isn't it? And realizing, yes, you do know more than me. And I'll jump in an aeroplane. I'll have trust in the physics. So why don't you have trust in the physics that, do you know what I mean? Like that surrounds that. But it's the flat earth mindset, isn't it? That
the analogy I used to
Yeah.
use is like if I want to drive from point A to point B and I got two vehicles in front of me, the left-hand side is flat earth, the right-hand side is the globe. I go to the globe and I open the door and the door falls like, holy shit. And I try to ring, and it's got a lot of faults. I got to smack it, put a little duct tape. It's going to drive me from point A to point B, right? That was my understanding. And still for today, I kind of feel like a little bit of a broken car that is a physical vehicle that can drive me, right? But then if I try to go to the flat earth car, it's just a non-existent. It's in my imagination. If there's no car, how am I going to go to point B? I'll take the real car any day of the week. If it's broken, well, I can fix it, or somebody else can fix it for me. That's the analogy I use.
Yeah. And that is science, isn't it? Like nothing is ever final. There is no like, oh, the Earth is always going to be the exact shape it is, and there's nothing changing it. If you know what I mean. And that's, again, what people don't understand. Or I didn't, is science is about discovery.
Always evolving. Science is always evolving, getting better.
Yeah, if you can explain something better.
That what you said right there was very powerful, actually, because we never stop learning. We're still learning about the universe today, and things like dark matter and dark energy, and and of course, flat earthers just totally want to dismiss things like that as well. But I mean, as humanity, we're still learning collectively to this very day.
Yeah.
You know,
There's so
It's
much
the-
stuff
it's the
to study as
collective-
well. Like honestly,
what was that?
carry on, mate.
so there's so
Gigi
much
there?
stuff. There's so much stuff to study as well. Like you could, really just pick a field and like you could be studying for years and still be knowing new stuff.
Oh yeah, there's physicists and scientists that have been working on one certain thing, I'm sure, out there for their entire careers, and they haven't learned it all yet. So
There's something I said on MC Toon's channel a while back. It's probably the best quote I've ever had. But I was talking, Mallory, the flat earther, mentioned something about why can't NASA just buy a rocket? Why do they need all this money? And I told her about the history behind rockets. But science doesn't just happen. We don't have refrigeration technology because we just bought it. If you took every single dollar that humanity has ever had in every country, and you took that back to, I don't know, even medieval times, even 1800 era, and you handed them an ice cream sandwich from a refrigerator, you would probably be burned at the stake because that's not possible with that technology. Humanity has built from its first days a systematic system to advance. We went from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age. Why? Because we started to understand how to make more resilient materials. That led to developments in housing, aqueducts in Rome. And then we went to the Iron Age. That brought advancements. More than just harder materials that perform better in warfare. And now we're in the information era. You have the collective data of the entire human race at your fingertips right now.
Oh, so at the minute, are we in the information era?
Technically,
Because
yes.
I was literally thinking that the other day. We have like the medieval era, or and I was thinking, what era are we in right now?
I think in 1,000 years, in retrospect, they're gonna look back and call it that.
Chaos.
In 1,000 years, they're going to look back and it's going to look almost like the Dark Ages.
Yeah, but they
I
still
suppose
may
then,
call it the information era.
But at the same time, go ahead. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
No, mate, that's cool. Like, it's the internet. We're all like half a second behind each other, so we cut each other off every now and again. That's going to happen. And I've now actually forgotten what I was going to say. So I'm hoping you do have something.
I gotta say something that I am leaving for the day. I want to leave you. I want to present you the JG clock. Our never changes on flat Earth. Look, it's always flat Earth time on JG clock world. And big shout out to Squeaky Earth. This is the favorite Earth on the JG show. Pictrud, Powhammer, FBF, and people watching on YouTube. Jose JG out. Boom! Wait for it.
All right.
Thank you. Later, guys. Thank you for the
It's
invite,
like
bro.
the Texas
We'll see
Chainsaw
you later,
Massacre.
I'm gonna have to take off in a bit too. I have about an hour before I have to get ready for work.
Me too, mate. It's 2:45 a.m. and I need to be. Definitely by say we'll cut it off at 3. If not, if we get bored beforehand, then we'll go before then.
I'll show myself
behind you, so and I'm feeling tired. I can't imagine how you're feeling.
Oh,
I'll
mate.
show myself and then I'll take off.
No, go for it. No, I was just gonna say, mate. I've been up since like 6:30 this morning. Hence why my eyes, as you can see, are like closing as the stream has carried on. But I was also when LimeyPlay obviously was streaming earlier, I was thinking like, I'll go live after Limey. And he just kept going on and on. I was like, oh, for God's sake. But then I was like determined, like once I've got it in my head that I'm going live, I'm going live. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't care whether there's 20 people listening or 60. You know what I mean? Like, it's prime time to someone somewhere, isn't it? You know,
You're doing what
we all
you
live
like
on a
to
planet,
do.
so
And that's
thanks ever so much for coming on, Jose. That was a good little chat.
It was a pleasure to
So
actually
how,
meet.
Yeah.
Meet
I
everybody
didn't know
tonight.
about him until now. I've been watching this flat Earth stuff for a couple of years now, and I knew about you, STST, but I had never heard of JG before, so I have to go back and watch some of his stuff.
Jose will hate that. Like, no, I'm really joking. No, but Jose
I
actually
won't
is
leave any
one of the,
comments, I promise.
yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like there seemed to be a bit more of a song and dance made about it when I left for some reason.
Yep.
But Jose actually, like I kind of said earlier, is like on the front line. Whereas, you know, say Nathan Oakley, how he has his like daily debate show. Jose kind of has a channel where he allows like globe earthers and flat earthers to come on, and you know, it's certainly so much more fair than the Nathan Oakley debacle that carries on, if you know what I mean. So yeah, but I mean, I don't know, maybe the internet blew it more out of proportion than it was, but it seemed like we had our troubles. You know, it's the internet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I say, Ranty, he called me a prick, but we laughed about it. He randomly just called me on Skype earlier, and I was like, what? Ranty's calling me. But I answered it, and we actually chatted for like 40 minutes, and it was just me and him. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the internet, and we all say things, we all do things, we're all human. I think as long as you can own up to it, swallow your pride sometimes, and just, which people do, is just step on channels and just show, you know, like there's no animosity, bury the hatchet and carry on, you know.
Yeah.
Yep, I definitely agree.
So far, you know, to be fair, I've made so far, I haven't been around that long, but I've only made 2 flat Earth videos so far. And one was about NREM, and the other one was about Dell. And, you know, that,
Yeah.
those guys, I don't know, those guys are just seem too far gone. So, you know, I wouldn't go picking on somebody who's naturally wondering and wants to know. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
going. Yeah, I would rather go after the people who are trying to indoctrinate, as they like to say. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a difference between the two. And I found that when I was sort of more doing debunking videos, was I got so emotionally involved with people that I thought did genuinely believe it. If you know what I mean, that I was like trying so hard. And then when like they didn't convert back to normality, like I'd be like, how could they not? Like, I did this, I did that, but we're all different, and we can't all be expected to change one person, if you know what I mean. It's like chipping away at a rock, you know. You might get the odd person, and you'll be doing better than more harm, if you know what I mean. So, yeah.
I mean,
more
even
people doing it, the better.
Even if you can take one flat earther and show them the error of their way and turn them into a, well, I don't want to say globe earther, but show them why they are wrong and lead them on the path to true knowledge, that is an admirable thing to do. And then you have people like Team Skeptic and FTFE. You know, during my debate, when you popped on for the for a little portion of it with Rad Vlad, I started talking about people who weren't globe earthers or flat earthers, and how Team Skeptic and FTFE give people something to look up to, regardless of the drama they're in. Team Skeptic and FTFE both saved my life when I was in a very, very dark place. And that goes a little bit further than just changing somebody's mind.
Yes, that does.
There's somebody that injects humor into the day. And that's definitely something our community needs right now. So I'll show myself that I'm going to take off. Frank, it was great to meet you. Jose, I know you're gone. It was great to meet you. Aza, you're one of our biggest supporters on the Swordsman. Great to see you as well. Seek Truth, obviously, you were on our 100 sub special.
Legend.
But if you want to see more of me and the other swordsmen, it's myself, Little Wolf, Tanner, and Dark Steve, along with our producer, Mute Donkey, and Surf. Just look up the 4 swordsmen. And you'll find us there. We stream Saturdays at 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time, or 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Just depends on time of year. Other than that, I've had a couple debates. If you want to laugh, go on MC Toon's channel, look up Chips versus Crisps. We made MC Toon eat some jerky cow balls.
I need to see that.
It was... I want to say right now, it wasn't a serious debate. Irish Demon and I are very close friends, so I felt comfortable with the ad homs that I made towards him. It was purely...
I absolutely love the thumbnail.
Me cowering away from it.
You must have deliberately gone like...
I did.
In your photo. It's so funny.
I'll have to check that out.
But the debate started... and my entire 10-minute opener was me just ad homming Irish Demon, racking up as many logical fallacies as I can. Irish Demon did the same thing, but his was less ad hom, more this is a fake story. And then we just started shooting the shit. If you want to see a more serious debate, go look up my debate with JL Warren on gun control. I don't believe either one of us won or lost. We both made very good points. Purely off of evidence, I will claim victory because I was the only one to present evidence. But that wasn't the point of the debate. It was to have a conversation.
What was the actual topic of the debate, Fohammer?
Gun control. Is gun control a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How is it going to impact our society? Stuff like that.
It's funny you bring that up. Somebody asked me that in a live stream, and I said, I'm not going to talk about that. And then my son comments, I got some ideas on that. He's only 14 years old,
That's fair. My perspective on it has changed since I was even in the military. A little bit, not a ton. But U.S. society is safer than it's ever been. And if you want proof of that, go look up the Uniformed Crime Report released by the FBI. If you can't trust the FBI, who can you trust? And you'll see that the vast majority of gun violence, and I hate to use gun violence in quotations because it's not a quotation, but it's suicide. More people commit suicide than kill other people. And why do they do that? Mental health.
Does that even include, say, serial killers and things as well?
Serial killers are actually the lowest tier on that list. Mass shooters are fairly low as well. There's been a lot of mass shootings, but the casualties from that is actually fairly low compared to other forms of gun violence, such as gang violence. Look at Chicago. They have some of the strictest gun control and yet some of the biggest body counts. And that's due to gangs. It's due to mental health issues. It's due to a lot of other things that aren't related to the gun. They're related to the person.
I suppose, is it almost like, because obviously I've said before, like I'm an English guy, like basically I've never even seen a real gun in my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I've seen BB guns that fire little metal pellets. I'm sure if I asked some gang member somewhere, I could get a gun, but like, it's to that point where I've never held one, or do you know what I mean? I've never seen one with my own eyes, and I can't even remember where I was going with that now. I made it so over dramatic. What was the point, Fohammer? Sorry,
I have no clue. You started talking about being English and
so
guns.
I've never seen a gun. I've never seen a gun. Right, it's coming. It's coming. So how could, like, Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. I was just messing with you.
Hey.
I was just teasing. I
No,
was saying it's right there. It's right,
right.
like it's right there on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah. Oh,
I think you're about to ask, how can gang members access firearms, or how can people access firearms that don't?
no.
No?
Because
Okay.
I know obviously in America there
Trying to
are
get at how
gun
hard it
laws
is
and
to.
you can purchase a gun. I know you can in the UK. Farmers do. You can. There's shotgun laws. If you're a farmer, you can have a shotgun, and there are certain things like that. It was so interesting as well. That's why I really hyped it up, and I hyped it up so much that I actually forgot the bloody point of what I was trying to say.
That's actually
That's
kind of
awful.
interesting.
If you remember at any point in time, you have me on Discord. Hit me up.
Yeah.
Now, do those shotguns have to be like scatter guns? You can't have
Yes.
slugs. You can't have slugs in them.
No, yeah, they've got to be the pellets, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
Wow.
they've got to be scattered. Yeah.
Wow.
But if you're in America at any point in time,
Well,
I'll teach you how to use one in a controlled, safe environment.
I suppose, yeah, more the point I think you've just sort of nudged me a little bit there is like, is it, I can't see how it's more safe to have guns than to not have guns, if you know what I mean. But like you said there's so many other ways that people die. So you can easily assume and just think, there's so many deaths in America with guns. People always forget how many people are in America compared to the UK.
Yep.
And you can always fall into those traps actually and forget about scale. And like you said, I think I heard you say before, like more people die with a hammer, and there's more murders done with a hammer than there is a gun.
Yes, so that's a very specific point. That is negating gang violence. That is negating police shootings, and that's negating justified homicides, where a civilian draws his firearm or her firearm, kills the person that is attacking them, goes to court over it, and is ruled justified. It is a very specific.
You're talking premeditated, like
yeah. More hammers are used in that than handguns, and more hammers are used to kill people than the AR-15 rifle or any other rifle for that matter.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There was 450, I believe, off the top of my head, deaths attributed to the AR-15 and other semi-automatic weapons in the Uniform Crime Report. There was over 1,000 by hammers. That's still small fries compared to vehicular homicide. Drunk driving, for instance. It's even smaller when you compare it to mistakes made by surgeons, which are literally, well, not surgeons, but doctors, which are literally mistakes. It claims almost 1 million Americans' lives per year. So it's not about saving lives. It's about control and fear-mongering. U.S. society is safer than it has ever been with the level of population we currently have. Obviously, if you go back to the 1800s, well, we had a 20th of the population we do now. But even back then, it was per capita, it was more violent.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So per capita, our society is safer than it has ever been.
I suppose, but because it's got so much bigger, there's so much more crime. If you know what I mean, like it's exponential. There just will be more, and it is just realizing that actually, I don't know. It's one of those things where you look at the actual numbers and you actually added them up and compared them. Like you say, those are the facts. It's less crime now, but there's so many more people, so many more crimes happening. So it's just going to go around more, isn't it? More people are going to know about it.
And I'll also say, for the record, I am a big advocate of firearm safety. If you do not understand how to safely handle a firearm, you do not belong owning one until you do. I'm not necessarily saying you have to have a class or a training regimen. Look at driver's license, for instance. I don't trust half the drivers out there. And yet they have a license. The government said, you're okay to drive. I don't trust them. I
just got in an accident 3 days ago because some asshole couldn't wait to stop 300 feet ahead. Exactly. He had to speed up and fly around me and slam on his brakes, and I hit him in the ass because, you know, and then he took off and left the scene because he was obviously at fault. But
and stuff like that happens all the time. It's not about what you use, it's about how you use it. It's about who is using it.
That's what the missus always says to me.
If you give a hammer to somebody who's a construction worker, they're going to build a beautiful work of art. If you give a firearm to a competition shooter, they're going to do things that amaze you. I don't know if you've ever seen 3-gun shoots or Jerry McGulark. That man is fast. But if you give either of these implements to a person who wants to kill somebody else, they're going to use it to kill someone else. It's about the person and how they use it. And
I live in an urban area, and I definitely sleep better at night having my 1911 under my bed.
Ooh, you're a 1911 guy. I'm a SIG guy. I
can't. If you're going to be a murderer, you're going to murder someone.
I love to look at the 1911. You put those wooden grips on. It looks like Patton's pistol. It's just, you know, I'm a war guy.
So I have a 1911 as well. It's not my carry gun though. I'm sorry, Seek. You're saying something. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay, dude. I was looking for my gun, but I can't find it. But it's only a Nerf gun anyway. It was only a joke. It fires like little bloody rubber bullets. But
like an airsoft gun?
Yeah.
I would be very hesitant at showing that on stream as well.
Oh no, it looks nothing like. Literally, it's a children's toy.
Oh, even then, YouTube has taken down people's channels for live streaming with airsoft guns.
They've been doing a lot of weird things lately, yeah.
What?
I would never tell you what to do or how to do it, Seek. That's just my advice.
Oh, well, listen, cordially. It's probably a good job. I swear it's probably there. Like, as soon as I go off, I'll be like, oh, there it is. And yeah. But no, I don't mind. It's just literally, it's a, what do you call it? Just a plastic toy. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. But yeah, I think we should actually round up the stream. Shall we say?
I'm sorry, I kind of took it over at the
end. No, that's right, dude. Like, it's 3 a.m. here, man. Like, I'm cruising right now. Do you know what I mean? I'm literally cruising. So yeah, we'll call it in, and we'll do like say. I know Fohammer did have a quick little outro, but we'll do Fohammer, and then I want to give FBF a good chance to say goodbye as well. But Fohammer, a little goodbye.
Thank you, as always, Seek. I love being here. I love talking to you. It's always informative. I always learn something. Maybe not about the universe, but about you as an individual or someone else on the panel. It's genuinely a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming, mate. Same from you, buddy. It's good. What I love about this little platform is we're meeting people that we might not necessarily meet in day-to-day life. Number one being we're in totally different countries.
Yep.
But, you know, we've got common interests, and it's just nice to really get to know people. So thank you very much, mate. I love your little channel you've got going on there. So cheers, Fohammer, buddy boy.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. FBF. Frank being Frank.
Oh, I thought you were just kind of doing a general wrap up there. I'm sorry. I was kind of giving.
No, mate. No, I was gonna.
See you later. No,
I want to make sure I gave you a moment to say goodbye, buddy.
please, yeah, no, thank you. It was nice to finally meet you guys. I've seen you guys in a lot of stuff. Bowhammer, I've reacted with you a lot in comment sections of different videos.
Mhm.
And I've seen a lot of videos about Seek, and it's nice to finally meet him and talk to him personally. So, uh, come give my channel a look if you're intrigued. Subscribe, like, and I'm gonna try to keep uh, good interviews and good content coming every week. So
Yeah, you had conspiracy cats on your channel, didn't you?
I did.
I think
My very first interview was with cats. Yes.
yeah,
And
that's a bit of a coup. There's not many channels out there that their first interview is with conspiracy cats.
I know, right? I got so lucky on how this is all working out, and the way the community is, and how open everybody is, and how they want to interact. And I'm all about it, man. Let's do it.
Cool. No, really, it's always good to just see new faces and people that want to jump on and have a chat live, and obviously everyone in the chat as well. Fohammer, was that Frank being Frank's channel that you just shared?
Yes.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
I'll make you a moderator, mate. If you obviously not right now, if you don't have the capability to comment, but I will make you a moderator. So then next time you can just share your own link, if you know what I mean, to show yourself out. If you do have capabilities now, drop a quick comment and I'll make you a mod. And then in future reference, you can then just share links whenever you want, mate. Everyone's welcome. That is the whole thing of it, isn't it? Fohammer's really hitting that well on the channel there with Skydiver Tanner as well. Not sure if he's still there. Gripper Crapper, Central Standard Time in the United States. What does that mean? Sort of PM. Give me some PMs there, Gripper Crapper. Comment, Frank being Frank. Add moderator. There you go, mate. Yeah, so
I was sitting here. I got the Streamlab window open. I'm not even watching the YouTube screen to add comments. I really got to get better at that. I had somebody tell me they told me on Twitter you're terrible because you got to get better at looking at comments and responding. You're actually right. I'm sorry. I got to get better at that. So
yeah, that all comes. I'm still learning, dude, and I've made a few hundred videos now, so we're all learning as we go. It's really great though that for you to even think that, because like you say, you can get so engrossed in obviously this little chat here, but there is potential of a few subscribers to come your way with the odd little conversation that goes on in the chat, if you know what I mean. So
yeah,
but it all bloody comes.
Had a chat window open on the StreamYard chat. That's normally what I do, but I didn't even think about it. I just jumped right in and just have a chat.
Yeah, cool, dude. Cool. I'm talking like I'm a professional. I'm a bloody amateur. So, thanks everyone so much. Fohammer, Frank being Frank, thank you.
Thank
Lee
you.
Wilcox, Surf. No, thank you both. Lee Wilcox, Surf, Gripper Crapper, Frank being Frank. Oh, that's you over there. Oh, over there. Fohammer. That's you over there. Nail 077, Lindu at speed, and everybody and everyone that was here earlier. Thank you very, very much indeed. Stay safe and do please keep it bloody global. Oh no, Gary Wybank has just joined. Gary Wybank has just joined. I was then going to end it. Gary, come on for a debate sometime. Not this late. It's 3 a.m. But please come and debate me. Stay safe, everyone, and keep it global.
Have a good night.
Have a good